Hello, good morning. Welcome to YGTV, YouGarden TV. I'm Tim Britton and I get to be with you for the next 3 hours, but don't worry, they've not just left me completely on my own to run crazy here. The gorgeous Rebecca Edwards is here as normal.
Morning.
You're right. Oh, I'm really, really
it's
good.
It's always
How
nice to have Tim in the shed.
It's lovely to be back in the potting shed. I love it because, one...
It's been a while, first of all.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
You're quite right, but I get a lovely education every time I come in.
I know, but you do know a bit. Like, you pretend you don't, but you know a little bit,
I know a bit, and I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. But I do know a bit. But I like to kind of contribute, but I also try to further my knowledge a little bit more and learn. And I think this is a nice time for me to come in because I've never been much of a gardener when it comes to this time of year.
There's so much to do now.
Well, I do my jobs,
yeah.
But then I just kind of think, well, the plants are they're going to do their thing. They'll survive or they won't. I've done what I can do. But then I don't really think, oh, how can I try to keep my garden doing things? How can I try to think about what I need to do? But anyway, before we get into all that, let me do the bit that I'm kind of here for, which is the boring housekeeping kind of stuff.
Let's do it.
So if you are brand new to YGTV and you've never watched us before, hello, good morning, thank you for joining us. The first thing you've got to do is that code you can see on the bottom of the screen, which is over there somewhere. So what you want to do is you need to enter that code because that will allow you all of the fantastic deals and prices that we've got. So YGTV 4124, you put that in when you go through to shop for us, which is on YouGarden.com, and that will get you the buy one get one frees. That will get you the 3 for 2 offers. That will get you the special prices on things, and make sure that you sign up to the club, because if you haven't signed up to the club, if you sign up to the auto renew, it's £5 a year forever. It just keeps rolling on at £5 a year. That's it. But it gives you tremendous prices. Now, why would you not want to do that? If you don't sign up to the auto renew, it's £10 and you're still going to get amazing prices. Postage, hit £40, which is going to be pretty easy today because there's a whole lot of goodies you want to get. It's free. You haven't got to pay to get anything shipped to you. If you don't hit the £40, don't worry because you're only going to pay one postage, and I think it kind of caps out at £6.99.
Yep.
So that's the most you're going to pay anyway. So it's pretty good going. So there's a whole load more to come. So, you can watch us on Facebook as well. And send us some messages, send us pictures of your gardens, because I haven't seen your gardens for a long time. You might have been sending pictures through, so send them through. And also, if you've got anything you want to say or any top tips for me moving into this time of year, share them over with me, because I like to try and get involved in this a little bit. Okay, oh, yes! Damn. There's a free gift. It's with every purchase.
Every single purchase. So it's not limited to one per customer. If somebody places 2 or 3 orders, and the savvy customers out there do know how to do it, placing multiple orders gives you multiples of your free gift. And this is one actually where I think you know, sometimes when we do a free gift, you just want one of them. That's fine. Yeah. But actually with this is one where you might want to get multiples of them. It's the Sarah Bernhardt peony. We call it the giant peony. Okay. And that's because the blooms on this can reach like 8 inches in diameter. Woo! Incredibly well named as well, because Sarah Bernhardt, she was a famous French actress. She was. She was renowned for her beauty. I'm sure she was an amazing actress as well. Let's not just define her by her beauty, shall we? But anyway, it's very well named because it is an incredibly beautiful, floriferous, petalicious, gorgeous peony. And I know that you love peonies.
I mean, peonies have such an amazing fragrance to them.
They do,
I think they're beautiful. But when you look at the actual blooms, I imagine it a bit like a piece of artwork, a piece of theatre in itself, because there's so much drama in them, and they do look spectacular around. Now, admittedly, when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is quite an amazing free giveaway. And then when I've seen what you're giving, it's a little underwhelming, I'm not going to lie.
Okay, but it is now. But this is the magic of gardening, isn't it? This is the bare root. So this is what's going to come in the bag. I know it's just a bit of root, isn't it?
It's a bit of root.
But you can see that sprout there.
Little sprout.
That little sprout there. That is what's going to come up through the ground and give you an amazing, amazing plant. So you just take the bare root, you plant it in the ground, a little bit below the surface, put a stick in the ground so you know it's there, because otherwise you'll accidentally dig it up. But then next year you'll start getting that lovely foliage and all those gorgeous flowers. It'll take a few years to really establish. So you should get a few flowers in the first year, but then once it gets in and gets established, I mean, you've got peony bushes. You know how many flowers you can get from a peony.
And that's it. I love it when you see those things start to grow. Like I was talking last time I was here. I was talking about the roses that I've got. I still had blooms on my roses a week ago.
Absolutely.
And then we've had to trim everything back again because we're now kind of thinking, right, let's get it into the start to getting where we want it to start shaping from when it really starts to go again. But they have done absolutely amazing. Apparently, we're getting really busy on the old chat as well, which is fantastic.
Good.
So thank you so much for joining in. Now, I'm going to give you one thing. You can see these in front of me. You can see these pots in front of me. You want to have a quick look at these because they are very, very, very limited on the amount of these that we've actually got. And there's something quite special because what you're doing is you're going to be... Can I just put hand cream on? Just put hand cream on because my hands are a bit dry and they're just... So you're going to buy what? You're going to buy one and you're going to get not one free, not two free, but 3 for free.
Yeah.
You guys really wanted me to do this, didn't you?
Buy one, get 3 free.
It
doesn't make sense.
This is absolutely mad.
This was super popular on Thursday. Loads of people got hold of them.
Yep.
Who was it that bought loads of them, Stu? Was it Dingo? Good morning, Dingo. I believe you're in the chat. Hello, yeah. Dingo owned up to being the person that bought multiples of these.
Why not?
We have 11 orders remaining.
Is that it?
That's all we've got left of these. So there are 11 of you that can get these right now. It's an 11-inch diameter. I don't know what a diameter is, but it's a diameter, 11-inch on there. So it's a really good size of pot for you. So it's brilliant for, I mean, it could be a home for some of the shrubs that we've got. In fact, the gardenias, I did say I was going to get them. I still haven't placed my order. The triple pack of gardenias, if you get that and you get these, 3 of them can be used for those gardenias and then you've got 1 pot left over.
Spare.
Put some bulbs in maybe, a temporary home for one of your perennial plants.
We've got some great deals on bulbs that are going to be coming up a little bit later on as well. So add those in, you're going to have to be quick though because there's not a lot of those.
Once those are gone, we have got another option for you, just to let you know, but we're not going to introduce it until until these have gone because we expect these to go very quickly.
Yeah. Brilliant. Ooh, say that again, Stu. Oh, okay, the other planter deal that we're talking about, the big one that we've got here. So I was saying these are quite nice because you've got something which is a little bit bigger. So if you want something for more, so you've got something that's already kind of grown on and you want to rechange the pots that it's into.
Good few options for you on here as well. So the April square planter, it's got that lovely tapered shape to it as well. Like a lady's waist, or like your waist, in fact. You know, that lovely tapered...
I tried. It does match my jumper. You're quite right. I really love the text. It's a bit early for me going that squeaky. It's getting really high. I love the texture. Yeah,
it's lovely. We think it looks a bit like a dahlia. It looks like one of the dahlias that we do. A really sort of a gorgeous design on there. Beautiful colour, particularly if you're going to think about maybe putting in a darker coloured bush in there. Like I've just grabbed one of our acers. We've got a triple pack of acers for you. This is the Atropurpureum. So that purple colour, that beautiful, burgundy colour in there would be amazing. Maybe it's going to be... the Loropetalum that we've got coming up for you, that gorgeous darker colour that we've got in there.
That's a great contrast.
It could be one of the Nandinas. That would be absolutely fantastic in there. So it's a really good size for shrubs, for bushes, but also I think you could do a gorgeous display in here with some of our garden-ready plants. You know, we've got the pansy cool waves that will tumble over the edges. We've got spring bulbs that you could put in here that would, you know, come through the centre. Lots and lots of options, a really good size.
Yeah, I'd go with something that's going to stand up off it because I want to see the pot.
Well, yeah, I mean, any of the standards that we do as well, they work beautifully in there. And then a bit of bark mulch over the top because we've still got that deal running. That'll just set it off really nicely.
There you go, 130573 if you want to go for those pots, £14.99, or the discount price, $13.49 if you want to go for those. Make sure you put in that code YGTV4124 to make sure you get all of your deals. Now, do we get to move on?
I think we do. We're going to go this way.
All right,
Should we go
let's
right to the wall, Stu?
I'm coming.
To the window.
Let's go.
To the wall. Let's go to the cranberry, shall we?
I love a cranberry.
I love a cranberry as well. I've never grown the cranberries, but you can actually grow cranberries yourself in your own garden. Quite like the idea of this because we're coming up to... I'm going to say the C word.
Drop it. I've been dropping it all the time.
We're coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited about Christmas. This is the bit where we can get excited, can't we? We've got a couple of sort of festive-themed things for you, but obviously cranberry is one of them. How cool would it be to grow your own cranberries?
Yeah.
Make your own cranberry sauce.
cranberries in your stuffing.
I know, right? I love that idea. And you can do that. This is our gorgeous cranberry bush that we've got going on here. Now, you're not going to get cranberries this year.
No.
I'll put that out there right now. But you need to get this established, absolutely. It is winter hardy. You don't need to worry about this one at all. Completely cope with, you know, minus temperatures, not an issue.
Okay,
you will then be getting the beautiful flowers on here, which will then get pollinated and turned into those gorgeous cranberries that you can pick.
Ooh, look at
and
that.
you can then do whatever you like with. If you want to make your cranberry sauce, you absolutely can. It is a bit of a trailing plant as well, so I would suggest growing this in a taller pot so that it can sort of tumble and trail over the edges.
Like the ones that we've just seen?
Yeah, April will probably work quite nicely for it, actually. It'd be a really good size, yeah. And I'm not going to say completely trails, but it just sort of tumbles a little bit. Yeah, so that would be a perfect size for it.
So this is £9.99, but it is on a double-up deal as well. So if you wanted 2 of these, it's £14.99, or so £7.50 per cranberry plant.
Yeah.
How good is that?
And you get a pair of those April planters, so yeah,
pair
I would double up.
Pair of these. Here we go. This is how we're liking it. So that would be £12.50.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Add it in for next year's Christmas.
It's evergreen as well, so it's something to look at, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just about the fruits, it's actually a gorgeous shrub and plant in its own right. I know that we often used to separate our grow your owns from our, you know, flowers and shrubs and bushes and things, but actually we've moved away from that. It is an attractive plant, so you can just mix it in with all the other things you've got growing.
And why not?
And then you've got the benefit of being able to pick those berries and things. It does like ericaceous compost. That's something I will point out. We do have a little bit of an ericaceous theme going on with the show today. So there's a couple of items that do need an ericaceous compost, and we've got that ericaceous compost available for you.
So, and that has got the postage included, that one as well. So if you wanted to get some of that, that's already done for you. So add that into your basket as well. You can see it there on the screen, £11.99 or £10.79 if you are in the club.
Tim needs to buy some ericaceous, don't you? We learnt this morning.
What are you talking
the
about?
Blueberries like to be in ericaceous compost, didn't we?
I certainly haven't had my blueberry plant for the past, 2.5 years in just generic compost. I certainly haven't done that.
So Tim's learnt a lesson this morning.
Completely done that, and that's probably the reason why my blueberry is doing amazing. Looks beautiful at the minute. Yeah. Great coloration.
And
you're getting a
few fruits, you said.
A few,
not many.
Maybe a small punnet.
Yeah. The difference will be putting it in ericaceous compost.
Well,
so there's one job.
Told you learn something every day.
There's one job you can do.
Every day is a school day, so I'm on it. So that's item number 1 that's going into my basket.
We've got blueberries coming up in a little while if you do fancy some blueberries.
OK, let's move. We're moving on?
We're going on. Let's do it.
So, Ceanothus.
Yes, Ceanothus thriciflorus repens.
Glad you said it, because I can't. I'm the simple name kind of guy. I love the Latin names, but there's a reason why at school I never did Latin.
No, me too, honestly. The reason I point that out is this is just a slightly different variety of Ceanothus. There's a few different varieties of Ceanothus that you can get, and this one is great because it's a slightly lower growing variety. All of you that watch regularly, you know how much I love Ceanothus. I always say every garden should have a Ceanothus. There's a few shrubs that we have in our gardens that I do believe everybody should have. Ceanothus is one of them.
Okay.
First of all, because it's evergreen. Beautiful. As somebody who loves their acers, and I can't remember how many I've got now. I've got that many I've run out, I can't even count. They are deciduous, they drop their leaves, they look like skeletons over the winter. So I need to make sure I've got lots of evergreen in there to counterbalance those deciduous plants. So this one's evergreen. In April and into May time, this plant gets absolutely covered in these beautiful lilac-y blue flowers, and I mean covered. Yeah. So you've got the evergreen foliage, but once this is in bloom, oh my word, it is the standout plant in your garden in April and May. And it's great because it's sort of, as the spring bulbs are popping up and starting to disappear, and before all the summer stuff starts to happen, this is what draws your attention. It really does. Pollinators absolutely adore it.
I was going to say, I can imagine the bees all buzzing around that lovely hum, and I think that's important as well, making sure we're doing the pollination and doing our little bit to make sure we help the bees spread around, because it helps our gardens grow. Definitely.
So pollinators absolutely adore it. It's award-winning. It's got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, so we know it's a proven performer. But this one, if you plant it in a really nice sunny spot, it should stay more compact. Other Ceanothus can get 3-4 metres in height, and it can spread by that much as well. So this will spread widthways, you know, you can get a good sort of 3 odd metres out of this.
Wow.
But if you've got it in a nice sunny spot, it should stay a bit more compact, only getting to maybe about 1.5 metres in height, whereas others can obviously get double and more than that. If you do put it somewhere shady, then it will get taller because it will try and reach for the skies. Yeah, absolutely. But it's a really nice one if you want to place an order for multiples of these, because you were talking about, could you turn this into like a hedge?
Yeah, because at the front of our house we have like a very small front garden section. So, and I was thinking, you know, something like that, but has a bit of colour to it, might be really nice.
Yeah, it's really good for that as well, but because it's evergreen, so you've constantly got that colour on there all the way through the year, but then you get this burst of colour, and often you get a second flourish of colour. You know, sometimes throughout the summer it'll throw out a few flowers, but certainly once you get into autumn time, sort of September time, it does give a sort of second flourish of flowers. Not always, and never as big as it does in April and May, but you do get a second flourish.
510886 is your item number, £9.99 or £8.99 if you are in the club prices. So I think it's a must-have. Why did you say that every garden has to have one?
I just think it's one of those, I think it's easy to grow, winter hardy, award-winning, and just absolutely beautiful. It's one of those ones that, you know, if you've got a border somewhere, a ceanothus should be in that border. But you can keep it in a pot as well. Quite successfully, you can grow it in a pot. It won't get as big, but you can successfully grow this in a pot too.
We've become very much a pot garden as well.
Yeah,
we've got our beds,
I love
but we've
containers.
become very much a potted garden now. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's move ourselves on because we've got so much to show you. So now we're going to go to our colourful hardy fern collection. Now, I love a fern.
I love a
fern. I've got ferns in my garden and they are doing amazing. They're really shaping up beautifully now, covering up those back fences and stuff. I love it. But I like it when you get different types together. Yeah. I don't like it when you just have one. I like trying to recreate the natural effect of
Absolutely.
ferns.
It's a mixture of textures and mixture of colours, and that's exactly what we've done with this particular collection here. Put together 3 that are going to give you an amazing array of colours. Now, I know when you're looking at the plants right now, look, there are 3 there. They all do look a little bit similar at the moment, don't they? All those lovely greens and things, but obviously once those mature, once they establish, you're going to get these gorgeous colours. You have got the beautiful greens. I mean, this one is stunning with the kind of silvery, purpley colours, and then you've got the coppers included in there as well. The reason that we love ferns, excuse me, is because shady parts of our garden, they can be quite tricky. You know, there's less things that will grow in those shady, damp areas than there will in the other parts of our garden. So they can just be they can be bare spaces a lot of the time because you tried to grow something there, it's failed. What do I put there? Ferns are absolutely fantastic. And a whole corner of your garden, I mean, I've got one particular corner that barely gets any, it doesn't get any sun at all. We've all got that corner in our garden. This is where you need to fill it with ferns. The other brilliant thing about ferns as well is, and we've all suffered with it this year, it's been the year of the slugs and the snails. I mean, it's made the news, hasn't it? You know, there's been so much talk about slugs being this massive great snails and like masses of them. And they just love to eat certain plants in our gardens. These are not affected by them. So I adore it for that reason. Easy, low maintenance, problem solver, and we're not giving those slugs and snails the all-you-can-eat buffet, which is brilliant as far as I'm concerned. We want those in our gardens. We do want slugs and snails in our gardens. We absolutely do. It's all part of that healthy ecosystem. We need them in our gardens. Hedgehogs absolutely adore them. The birds will eat them as well. You know, there's having that wide variety of bugs and things in our garden is amazing. We just don't want them eating our plants, and these are resistant to them. And a couple of these have got the RHS Award of Garden Merit as well, so another award-winning ones here.
Do you know what else slugs don't like?
What's that?
Strolch.
Yeah, they don't like strolch. That's very true. We've got some of that
strolch.
as well. Yeah.
Bit of strolch around your borders, laying across the top.
He walked in the shed this morning and he's like, ooh, strolch, I need to get some of that.
Got to get it, because I got rid of a load of it by mistake, and I need to put some more down, because the last thing I want to happen is for all the hard work I've just put in on the side borders of our garden to go to waste now.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, right, so that's a must-have. Anyway, Garden Fern Collection 560578 is your item number for that. That is less than £10 if you're in the club, and just under £11 if you're not in the club. But why would you not be in the club? It's
join the club
for a year.
Join the club.
£5 for a year. See, someone's already joined this morning. Savvy.
Well done.
If you haven't and you're thinking about it, stop thinking do, because it's £5 for a year and you get better deals.
Well, the other thing I was saying a lot on Thursday when we did the show is because we've been broadcasting at YGTV for just over a year. It was August, wasn't it, when we first started doing our shows? Do you know we didn't, and we should have done.
If I'd have known that, I'd have brought cake
Would
in
you have
for
brought
everyone
cake?
today.
Never mind. Well, we've been doing it for just over a year, which means a lot of people obviously joined the club a year ago. So that means that loads of people have just received their new pack, which means they've got their new pack of £20 worth of vouchers to spend.
Yeah, because you get vouchers, don't you?
Yeah, you get £20 worth of vouchers, £5 each, but 4 of them.
Yeah.
And you can use them all in the same day, by the way. They've got dates on them. Ignore the dates. You can use those vouchers at any point in the year.
If you place that,
I know. No, but Peter, our head gardener,
he's asleep hopefully in bed.
He told me this, so I feel like I'm allowed to say it. So if you place 4 orders in one day, you can use all 4 of those vouchers in one day. So, for example, Ceanothus, details are on the screen. If you're in the club and you've got a £5 voucher to spend, you can knock a £5 off that. It's £3.99. A Ceanothus in a 2-litre pot for £3.99.
How many of you are now checking, when's my club coming?
Yeah.
Am I on it now? Can I have my vouchers?
We give you discounts here, so it should be, what is it supposed to be? A big saving, £5 saving.
Yeah, £5 saving, so it should be £14.99.
off already, you can actually apply another £5 saving on here.
That's
you
ridiculous.
can actually apply that discount as well.
Which means it's technically like 66% off.
I know. Like it.
Nuts, right?
And
Crazy.
if you buy multiples of those to create that hedge kind of look, then that's a great time to use those vouchers.
Come on. Let's move on. Let's show you more stuff because we've got so many things. So we've got the Daphne Perfume Princess.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that I know absolutely nothing about and have not seen before.
Okay.
So, like, blow my mind.
Okay, well, this is I was going to say all about fragrance, but it's not. It's quite a beautiful plant as well.
I was saying the flowers are very pretty.
But let's go with the fragrance first of all. We bring quite a few fragrant plants to you.
Yes.
And I'm all over the fragrance now. I've grown a few things recently that have the most beautiful fragrance. The Gardenia, I'm going to keep going on about that Gardenia because it's gorgeous. But this is so fragrant, it's ridiculous. It's probably one of the most fragrant shrubs that you can grow. And this is all about getting your spring garden sorted out, okay? So we've got spring bulbs and things coming, but this is also about your spring garden. Because in about March and into April time, this plant is going to get covered in these beautiful flowers. And the fragrance that you get from Daphne is incredible.
So they're not huge, they're not big flowers, but they're almost like little clusters.
Yeah, you get these lovely clusters of them. It's the perfect size for a pot, by the way. So if you were going for maybe the April, you could grow this in a pot quite happily.
Oh, someone's matched the pot to the
I quite like that.
That's nice.
Now, you can grow this in a border if you want to, put it in a really nice sort of sunny, part shade will be fine, but sun and part shade is the kind of ideal, and it would get to 3 or 4 feet height, and it'll probably spread by a good 3 feet as well.
Okay.
But if you want to grow it in a pot, you absolutely can, and maybe that is something you want to do in order to get the best out of the fragrance. My borders are all down the end of the garden and the sides of the garden. Yeah. If it's in a pot, I can put it where I'm going to get the most from that fragrance. It's evergreen, it's fully winter hardy, which means also this is going to be covered by our lifetime guarantee.
Wow.
You know about our lifetime guarantee, don't you?
No.
No. Winter hardy plants, if you're looking at the product page on the website, it has a little snowflake symbol on anything that is fully winter hardy. Snowflake, and it says underneath it winter hardy.
Right.
If it's got that symbol, it means it's covered by the lifetime guarantee from YouGarden.
Okay, right, I see. Yeah, it's a snowflake.
Which means that if you get this plant home and you plant it in your garden, and next year, or in 5 years' time, or in 10 years' time, that plant dies, you can get in touch with us, you can let us know. We will replace it for you free of charge. All you have to do is cover any postage. As long as we're still stocking it, we will send you a new one, just for the postage cost. So
I love the care. I love the aftercare that YouGarden give. It really does show the testament. And do you know what else I loved? When you had a look on the website page just there, I love how YouGarden's making it really simple.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who's getting into your garden, or if you're not sure about a plant, like me, I've never heard of this one, never seen this one before, just something, and look, you get an understanding as to how high it's going to grow, the width of it, where it should go. Oh, I can get cut flowers from it. Great, brilliant. Oh, it can go in a pot. That's fantastic. And then look, there's a little video of, who's that? Is that? Oh, I don't know who that is.
He's some guy, isn't he?
Is that some stranger that's just run into the garden? Oh, it's Sean!
It's Shawnee Ryan.
And he said, this is what's fantastic. So you're always kind of being supported through the entire journey.
Yeah.
Whether it's your buying, when to plant it, when it's going to flower. and this is what we like because, and also, I like how you haven't got to hunt for that information.
No, absolutely.
It's all there. It's all very easily understandable. And it helps you with your gardening, helps you learn, helps you evolve. Even if you've been a gardener for 20 years, we can all learn something. And we might go, oh, I never actually realised I could still do that then.
Gardening is a massive subject. It's really hard to know everything about it. You can spend your whole life in gardening and you're still learning something. Yeah. And particularly because it's always changing. You know, our weather patterns are changing. So that knocks out anything that we learned 10 years ago. It's all very different.
And I mean, by the way, if you do have any questions about your garden in terms of landscaping of your garden and things like that, suggestions, ask those questions as well, because that's kind of what I do a lot. I've been a landscape gardener for years, so I spend a long time actually shaping it, because I've just finished it. I'll talk about it throughout the tour to show. I've just finished doing a reclaimed, resalvaged patio and surrounding path of like a cabin house in the middle of a forest in Thetford Forest, which is part of another property. It's on a huge, like 20-acre site. So I've just finished doing that, and I have to drive a tractor down to where the log cabin is to be able to get all the materials down there on the back of a trailer. Wow. So I have become a master at reversing a trailer with a tractor. Honestly, great with that. So yeah, spent the whole thing slabbing and stuff like that. But we can ask and talk about questions about that. But anyway, and that's why I was saying about the ferns, because I've seen so many ferns recently that have been growing there. And wild growing bamboo everywhere. Like, honestly, that stuff is rampant. Yeah. Really, really spreads. You've got to get the roots out. And a lot of stinging nettles. I had to get rid of a lot of stinging nettles as well to get confused. But let's move on to the last one of our table that we've got here, and this is going to be our Acer collection. Now, Acer's beautiful.
Love them.
I think they're elegant. I think they're decadent, and I love how even Acers, they're so different. There's so much variety. There's so much scope for them. I bought Acers to try in my garden, and I was adamant I wanted them, and I planted them, and where I put them, the wind just annihilated them. Well, they just couldn't take it.
There are only two things that Acers require from you, and that is sheltered position. They do not want to be battered by wind. That will kill an Acer, unfortunately. And a dappled shade position as well. They don't want to be in full baking sun. They can cope with full sun for periods throughout the day. They just don't want to be in a sort of south-facing position constantly.
That's exactly the reason why I put it there, because I was like, I've got the dappled shade section. But the wind, it was just like a tunnel.
Those are the only two things that these things require from you, because they are fully winter hardy. You know, they really can cope with minus temperatures. But this collection is really clever, a bit like our hardy fern collection. You can see the three different colours we've got there. You've got the same here. You've got the emerald lace, which I think is true classic Acer. Yeah, that's the one you're touching, which has got the proper dissected filigree leaves on there. That is absolutely stunning. And
they just look so dainty, don't they? It's like each leaf and stem has just been hand sculpted. I think it's amazing.
You've also got the orange dream in there as well, which has still got those sort of dissected leaves on there, but you're going to get all of that variation of colour and variegation included in there as well. And then the gorgeous Atropurpureum. Like, the colour of that is just incredible. You get a festival of colours with Acers. They do tend to change their colours throughout the seasons. You know, they'll come out one colour in spring and then change their colour through the summer, and then they all give an amazing blaze of colour. Like right now, my Acers are giving the fantastic blaze of colour just before they're starting to drop their leaves for winter time. They are exactly what you said. They are elegant, they are decadent, they are calming, they are beautiful. Three incredible varieties for an amazing price as well.
There's something about the wind, like the breeze blowing through those.
Yeah.
The sound of it is just magnificent. And when you see the sun, and if you get a light, this is one of the things that I've got really into this year, is if you can get a light patio section, and you can get it positioned just right where you get the shadow being cast onto your patio from your Acers, it looks spectacular. That is one of the most calming things, using your plants to create effectively a whole nother effect on your ground section. It just looks beautiful. So 510134 is your item number, $17.97 if you wanted to go for those and you're in the club, or just under £20, $19.97 if you're not in the club, but we've already spoken about that, so sign up to the club now.
Now, please.
Now. £5. £5 auto renew, or £10, so it's absolutely fantastic. So, sorry, Stu, I missed that.
Infinities.
Oh, okay, right. So, this is the deal that you need to get hold of today, okay? There is not a lot of stock left of this, but you are going to buy one. I say you're going to buy one, and you're going to get not one, not two, but 3 extra plant pots. See what I did there? Nearly went plants, plant pots, for free. For free. So you are going to be getting 4 in total for £7.19. Now, I want to say the maths really quickly, but I'm going to struggle with it. But it's going to be less than £2 a pot.
Yeah, I can't.
Let's go that way.
Yeah, let's do
less
that.
than £2 a pot. It's going to be something like £1.20-ish. No.
£1.80.
80-ish. That's what I wanted to say.
Anyway,
someone out there is going to be going, it's this. 4 pots, buy one, get 3 free, and there is how many left now?
9 orders.
9.
9 orders.
9.
Now, there's no limit to how many you buy, so if you want to put 4 in your basket...
So maybe one of you that's going to get all 9 of them if you wanted to.
If you want to, you absolutely can, and you know, I would recommend doing it, because honestly, if you were in a garden centre and you walked past and they had a display saying, buy one, get 3 free, and they're going to be £7.19 for all 4 of them, you would snap them up, wouldn't you? Even if you don't know what you're going to do with them right now, you would definitely grab hold of them and get them.
And I'm assuming these are like UV, frost protection, all of that.
Absolutely, UV stabilised, frost resistant. So there are, cheap, nasty plastic pots that you could buy.
Yeah, there are.
But they go brittle, they crack, they break because they can't withstand the temperatures and the change of weather and what have you. These have been UV stabilised in order to deal with that. So they're not going to go brittle and crack and break. They are designed to last for a long time. I've moved away from, terracotta and glazed ceramic and all the rest of it. I am gradually filling my garden with plastic pots because they're lightweight, they're easy to move around the garden, and they will last as well.
Yeah, they really will. 130283 is your item number, but these are going to disappear. So if you want those, you're going to have to be super quick. Hold on though, if you're there thinking, what am I going to do? We have got a little backup for you, which is these. These are like a wicker effect pot that we've got. And this is a buy one, get 2 free, okay?
So these are slightly, these are 11-inch, aren't they? So these are just slightly bigger at 12-inch diameter. Same deal here. You've got the UV stabilisation.
Nice.
The frost resistance. You've got the drainage holes. You've got the channels for those to drain away as well. They're a great size, again, for putting shrubs in, for putting bulbs and things like that in as well. And the design has been done so that they will sort of fit into all sorts of colour schemes. Love that black and white design on there, the lovely kind of woven wicker pattern you've got there as well.
And you can really feel that texture on here as well. So another fantastic deal, £7.19. This is buy one, get 2 free. So this is kind of like your backup if you don't manage to get the first one, or if you're thinking, actually, do you know what? It's just that little bit bigger. That would be perfect for what I need. So make sure you add it in. 130227 is your item number if you wanted to go for your wicker planter black and silver pots for you.
Right, let's have a look in the chat, shall we? Because we have got YouTube available here so that we can see what's going on YouTube. Stu's checking out the Facebook page, by the way. So if you're on Facebook, good morning to you. Kathy, Penny, Dingo, hello there. There's also the email that you can send things through to, ygtv@yougarden.com. We like seeing your pictures, so if you want to send us any pictures of your garden, we would appreciate that. So good morning to Neil. Good morning to Grimmy. Good morning to Owen. Hello, darling. How are you? Oh, apparently she's just... Oh, you're off for a carvery. With a cake away? Oh, you can take it home later.
Because you filled up too much on your carvery. Because you've gone up and had so much that you can't.
Neil's saying, I love the Ceanothus. I've got one at the bottom of the garden behind my Jack and Jill seat. That's very cute, like that.
Nice, that's great.
And Alwyn's also saying, I love the containers from YouGarden. Neil's saying, same here. I need coffee. Be right back. I love that, Ollie.
Agreed. I always need more coffee.
We're always here for you. No problem at all. Thanks for joining us in the chat on there. Let's have a little look at the emails, shall we? Oh, Grimmy sent us an email. Nice. So it says, help. My youngest son has just bought his first house.
Oh, okay.
And he wants me to sort his garden. Any inspiring ideas to make it greener using the existing terracing? I'm a bit stuck for contemporary ideas. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, hold on.
That is just a blank canvas, isn't it?
Right, so...
So you've got steps going up there, and then up onto there, and then steps going... Oh my word! So we've got steps, look, going up and round here.
The first thing I would do is I would pressure wash down all of those walls.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd clean it down, and before you start planting anything up, I'd give all of that fresh lick of paint.
Yeah.
Number one, give it and pick the colour you want. It doesn't have to be light. If you didn't want it to be light, you could change the colour. If you wanted it more contemporary, greys are very popular. By the way, if you pressure wash those slabs, they'll come up an absolute treat for you as well.
Totally. Now it looks like there's a couple of shady corners there, so you know my instant go-to is going to be Fatsia. Always going to be a Fatsia because it's big and lush and will fill one of those shady corners. I'd love the idea of pots along that wall, actually. Just in the front there, pots against that lowest wall so that it separates the...
That's kind of going to be your walkway.
Well...
But what you could do if you wanted to is you could either put a couple of stepping stones through that grass lawn so you step onto there, and then you could use that as a potted wall.
Oh, there's so much you can do in there. That lovely border up the sides there, look, that's a bed.
That would be fab. That would be a fab bed.
Oh, there's so many things.
And up here, I'd put a nice big tree.
A big tree? I feel like that's a little seating area up there, look. Because it's nice in the sun, you get some little seats going there. Maybe something lush and tropical, like a banana plant or something or other.
I'd cut that hedge.
It's really nice and sunny.
I'd give that hedge a good cut at the back as well, because that looks like it's overgrown slightly. It needs a good cutting back. It's protruding forward a bit.
Yeah, and then maybe along the fence up the side there, you want something climbing. You want something like, what did you just say, Stu? Passion flower, the passiflora, growing up and along there, so you get that lovely, gorgeous colours going on.
You've got, obviously down here, you've got a nice scope, because that's quite a high wall. I'm going to say that's probably about 3 foot high.
Yeah.
Judging by the breeze blocks that are laid there. So you could small trellis something there, which could start to climb
that would
up.
be nice.
Because then you've got a small vertical garden, then that leads into the bed that's coming off the side there.
So much fun you're going to have doing that. Yeah, start with some pots, Stu's saying. Get your shady corners sorted out. Maybe some of those ferns would be a good one to get in the shady corners.
I think I think you've got a really lovely space there.
I can't wait to see the progress with that, Grimmy. Let us know. Keep us updated, won't you, with the pictures?
As an FYI, those white stones that you can see there's lots of products out there available for them where you can buy to spray onto the stones that will eat away at the green algae and stuff that's collected onto them. There's one off the top of my head I know the name of. I don't know if I'm allowed to say brands or anything, but
you can.
So there's one that's there called Spray and Leave, which is great that you can put onto there, which you literally spray on, leave it, and it will get rid of the darkness, the green on those stones and things. But you could spray that all across the wall as well, and that will stop that growing on, and then give that a quick paint before you do it. But I think that's a really beautiful space.
It's absolutely gorgeous, yeah. Right, Keith has sent us a picture. Sorry, Dingo, apologies.
Morning, Dingo.
Sorry, Dingo. Dingo sent us an email saying, morning, chaps and Bex. Potted up the lobelia I got from YouGarden a few weeks ago, sitting in the pond. Cheers, Dingo. Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
Love that, and he's got his lovely acers in the background as well. Yeah, Dingo runs a turtle sanctuary, so in here he's got loads of like turtles and things.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to go.
Yeah, we keep saying that as well.
Dingo, send me a picture of one of the turtles. I love it.
Wait, he sent us a picture the other day.
I volunteer at a horse sanctuary normally on Sundays, so I'm not there today because I am here. So my wife works at the horse sanctuary.
This is the picture he sent us on Thursday, look. So these are all of his turtles and stuff, and his pond in the background.
Oh, wow.
Look, it's so cute.
Look at them carp in there as well.
I know. Lush.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Love it. Thank you so much for sending your emails, your pictures. Thanks for joining in on the comments as well. On YouTube, that's what we're looking at. Stu's got Facebook open, so he'll be looking at that. And obviously, I'll keep checking for any emails and pictures that you send through. We love seeing your gardens. We're very nosy, so please do keep sending those.
Yeah, absolutely love it. And thank you so much for joining us this morning. And if you are brand new and you're joining us and you've just found us, thank you so much. If you are new, the code that you see on the bottom of your screen over there, the YGTV 4124, that's the most important thing. When you go to the website, YouGarden.com, and you're going to start having a look, shopping around, you need to put that code in because that will give you the yellow prices on the screen, okay, the discounted prices. Now, if you also sign up to the club, you get extra special little options and things as well. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for those particular deals and prices. It's £5 on the auto renew. It's there for a year and it will never be any more than £5. You can stop it whenever you want to. It's not a problem at all, okay? Item number's on top of the screen, so you can type that in and it will bring up straight to the item that we're looking at, and that could be, for example, these square planters that we're looking at here. You're going to get 2 of these planters, 20 litre capacity on here. 130573 is your item number. £13.49 if you're in the club, or just under £15 at £14.99 if you're not in the club.
Pretty, aren't they?
They are really pretty.
I like the tapered shape. I love the square pot as well. Like round pots are great, but certain things they need a square pot.
Were you going to say square butt?
I nearly did. Square butt pot. They've got a lovely design on as well. It's that kind of abstract dahlia design on there too. They are UV stabilised, they are frost resistant, they've got that little lip underneath so it's easy for you to pick up and move around your garden. They're obviously lighter because they're made of plastic, not made of stone, which can be, you know, if you've been moving pots, I've got a sack truck that I've got specifically for moving those heavy pots around my garden because you just can't lift them. With these you can.
I've been at my mother-in-law's trying to help with her garden and things, and like my father-in-law's not with us anymore, but he loved a pot. Yeah. Absolutely loved a pot, but he would collect pots from anywhere and everywhere he could, and some of them, my word.
Heavy.
Heavy, that's an understatement, and especially when everything's full of water and things as well. But when you go to your basket, when you go onto the website, YouGarden.com, add something in. If you want to add the pots in, for example, we've got 3 different options that you can see there. We're adding those plants in, and you can see the breakdown on the far right-hand side. It gives you the total, gives you your delivery cost, which will be £6.99. But hang on, Stu, hold on. I mean, that's £29.98 for those pots. That's not right. We don't want to do that. See there, do you have an offer code? Do we have an offer code? I think we do. Right, YGTV4124. Put it in. Apply. Let's get that on. £52.95. £52.95. Apply. Whoa! Drop down to £37. Now, okay, so hold on. So you haven't just... Okay, so let's just look at the pricing first of all. That's dropped down, so you pay... It's definitely in more. Look at the saving. Nearly £70 worth of saving. But now, you've got 2 free wicker pots going in there. 3 free infinity pots. That's 5 pots for free. They've now gone down in price, your April planters. And you're also getting a free gift of a giant peony bare root as well. So not only have you now saved nearly £70, but you've also got extra pots coming your way, and you've also got the additional bare root peony coming for you. How fantastic is that? Now, all I would say is, if you added one more item into your basket, you're probably going to get free postage on that as well. So how good is that? YouGarden literally gives you deal upon deal upon deal, and it's not that you can only have one. No. Because there's quite a lot of places out there where they go, you can have one deal, but you can only have one deal. You guys, if you want to buy 5 of those, buy 5 of those deals. It's completely up to you. Stack it on, because we want you to have the garden that you want to have, and gardens can be expensive. They can. Like, your house is often the biggest expense you're ever going to have. And then your garden is the extra room. It's the extra space that you think, this can really, really transform your home. And it can be an expensive place to do it. Yeah. It can be a really expensive place to do it. So making those pounds go that little bit further, that's where YouGarden comes in, is absolutely amazing. Speaking of pounds going further, we have now got some absolute faves. Now, where are we starting? Because I know that there's some really good ones here, but I'm going to take you straight to the gardenias. Okay. First thing you've got to do is smell that flower, please. Hang on, let me... Woo! That's got some perfume right there. So I was carrying this around with me on Thursday. I would not put it down. Give me. Were you just walking around like this? So it's like this. Smell me. Smell me. This is my perfume. Because the fragrance. Oh my God. It is powerful. I absolutely love gardenia. Now, gardenia fragrance is actually used a lot in perfume. Yes, it is. And you can imagine that, can't you? Just from that fragrance. And you know a bit about fragrance, don't you? Because you do candles. What's nice about this fragrance as well is you get a very high hit of fragrance to begin with. It softens down as you move away, but it also doesn't necessarily linger for a very, very long time, which means that you kind of then go back and you have a very soft, subtle hint that lingers, so it draws you back into smell again, which is a nice thing, which is kind of why it's used in perfumes a lot, because that's what you want. You want a heavy hit of the perfume to start with, and then you want to move away. You want the idea is to draw someone back in again. Yeah, well, you're going to get 3... Oh, that is beautiful. 3 of these included in here. So you're going to get the pinwheel, the Climbs Hardy, and I've completely forgotten the name of the other one, but you're going to get 3 different ones. You've got evergreen shrubs on here as well. So these always have the beautiful, glossy evergreen leaves on here. Crown jewel.
Crown jewel, thank you,
Crown
that's the one.
jewel.
So then in summertime, and they start around probably about June time, these are going to get these beautiful white flowers on here, and they are beautiful. The white really has captivated me lately. I used to be all about rainbow, garish, bright colours, but actually the kind of elegance and simplicity of white is incredible.
I like how as well, when you look at the actual bloom, it almost looks like a starfish that's wrapped around there as well.
I know, and look at the centre of that. That looks like somebody's actually tied some jute string or twine around it. It's just amazing that they can do this. Now, these do prefer a bit of ericaceous compost as well. So again, fitting in with our ericaceous theme, gardenias are going to appreciate that ericaceous compost.
Okay.
So get yourself the April planters, or actually the infinity planters, because you've got three of these plants.
Your compost is on the screen as well for you, by the way. Just have a look at that.
Grab that bag of ericaceous compost as well and plant these in there.
There it is.
Again, a plant that I think you're going to want in a pot. Because you're going to want to really appreciate that fragrance. 60 litres, that's great for that bag. And that will do for those 3 pots as well, by the way.
What would be lovely with these as well, like you're saying, in pot, means that you can move it about. So if you have friends come around for dinner or something like that, move the pots over to where you're going to be sat, and then they can have that perfume around. And then you can, it might not be the ideal spot for them to grow, but you can move them around so you can have it and dressing that area, because part of anything, like if you had friends come around for dinner at home, everyone goes, the vacuums out, everything's cleaned, but you get the nice smelling candles out and stuff like that, and you make the room nice. Same thing with your garden, move them around. 1617 if you wanted to go for those, and that's for 3 of those 9 centimetre pots on your gardenias. 511 42452 is your item number if you want to go for those ones. Rhododendrons?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's your summer garden sorted out with your gardenias, because they're going to flower in summertime. And it is really important about getting those in the ground now, by the way. A lot of people think, well, if it's summer, I'll do it later. I'll do it in springtime.
Yeah, you were saying about this earlier on before we went live.
So autumn is a really important time in the gardening calendar. A lot of you already know this, but if you don't, it's a really important time in the gardening calendar because we're planting for the future. We're not. We've got some stuff, by the way, coming up, the garden readies that are for autumn, winter, and winter colour. But now is a really important time to start planning your garden for next year, getting stuff in the ground for spring, getting your spring bulbs, but also thinking about later on in the year as well.
Yes.
Now, getting those perennial plants in the ground right now means that they've got time to establish because the ground is still warm. We've still got a decent amount of light. So there's time for that plant to put its roots in. It's not thinking necessarily about shoots. It's not thinking about growing upwards. It's reaching its dormancy period. It's going to go to sleep over the winter. But planting it now means it can focus all of its attention, all of its energy on putting those roots in and getting really nicely established. And then come springtime, it doesn't have to divert its energy in two different ways because it's already, I mean, it'll still keep developing roots, don't get me wrong, but it's already done a lot of that root establishment already. So then the plant's energy can go upwards, it can go into shoots, which means if you plant now versus planting in spring, you're probably going to get better, bigger, more growth next year than you would if you planted it in springtime.
It's like the clever planting. It's like, I liken it in my head to thinking about the prep for your Sunday roast. Well, I think about it that way. If you got savvy and woke up and just a little earlier in the morning and just peeled and prepped all your veg, then it means that you haven't got to waste that time right beforehand. So then you, instead of having to be trapped into the kitchen for 2 hours, you're only going to have to go right in, on, done. That's it.
Now
because you've done that a little bit. Exactly. You've done it a little bit earlier on. You've prepped. You've planned ahead for everything else that you're going to do. Packing your bags for holiday, same thing. Prep it, get it done. You ain't got to worry about and rush around tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Mental note to self.
So yeah, that one was the summer, but this one is all about spring, really, with your rhododendrons. So we're getting 3 of the 9 centimetre pots again here. Okay. But these are going to flower sort of springtime. We're talking about April and May, and these are also evergreen as well. So going to have glossy evergreen leaves on here. But once they come into flower, that's what you can expect.
They're so beautiful.
They really can be covered.
I mean, look at that. Is it kind of like a lucky dip with these, or do you get one of each colour?
No, you're going to get one of each colour. There is the blouse, what's it called? It's called blouse pink. You've got the geisha red and the geisha white included as well. So you're getting the pink, red and the white varieties, which is, I mean, they meld and work together so beautifully. They do like ericaceous compost again, so make sure you're getting a bag of your ericaceous. If you've got ericaceous borders, so if you've already got rhododendrons and things growing and they're really happy, you've got ericaceous, you've got acid soil in your garden.
Okay.
If you're not sure what you've got in your garden, then the best thing you can do is grow these in pots. They're nice and slow growing. They take a while to establish, you know, because they're slow growing. We're talking maybe 1 metre by 1 metre is their sort of full size growth here. So these can work absolutely beautifully in pots. And then, of course, you can make sure that they've got that ericaceous compost in there.
Which is obviously important to do.
It is very important.
Or
you won't get those beautiful flowers.
Lots of plants. So, £8.97 for all 3 of those if you wanted to go for them. 510804 is your item number. She's just doing a root inspection time.
Stu just pointed out I have not done any root inspections, and he's absolutely right. But yes, you can see. Look, can you see how? I mean, that is nice and tightly packed there with all those roots.
Yeah.
It's a rooty beauty. It is raring to grow. It's so important to get this in your garden now. And then in the springtime, April and May, you'll be amazed at the amount of flowers you get from this, which is a 9 centimetre pot, so relatively small but nicely established. And then over the next few years, it'll just keep getting bigger and better and look absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful. There you go. So another way to add a bit of colour, and I like the fact you're getting one of each colour as well, so you can spread it around the garden.
Similar thing with the anemones here. So you're getting the red, white and the pink included here as well with the anemones.
Okay,
so
nice.
A lovely colour combination. It's a beautiful collection that we get here. These are winter friendly as well. Sorry, not winter friendly. Winter hardy, plus they are wildlife friendly as well. And traditionally these are late flowering plants for you. So they're going to start late summer. They'll burst into bloom probably in July into August time.
Okay.
But these keep going through September and into October as well.
Oh, nice.
And they have those gorgeous contrasting yellow centres, which I just think sets the entire thing off. You can see how wildlife friendly these are going to be. I would try and plant these in a place where you're going to be able to leave them. They don't particularly like being moved too much. They might sulk a little bit if you move them. So once you put them in, try and make sure you put them where you're not going to move them. You are getting the 3 different varieties included in here as well. They're called Whirlwind, which is the white. You're getting the Prince Heinrich, which is the pink. That's got the RHS Award of Garden Merit. And you're getting the pink... sorry. You're getting the Queen Charlotte as well, which has got the RHS Award of Garden Merit. It's an incredibly long-lived perennial. Decades you'll have out of this.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, they just keep doing their thing. Go on.
Well, I was just thinking, I'm liking the fact that you've got a bit of a theme running through here, but I'm liking the fact that you're getting a bit of all of the colours running through as well. But it's with these, you were saying about the yellow stem as well. I was thinking about how much the pollinators are going to like that, because you can see as well the amount of pollen that's actually inside those as well. They really are.
But most importantly, I think this is about it being a late flowering plant.
Yes, I like that.
You know, once the summer flowers have gone, because a lot of it goes over, these will still be giving you that bit of interest in your garden, that at a time when we're feeling a bit sad because summer's over and winter's about to come, but this is still going to give you that colour.
I like it. I like colour in the garden as well.
Me too.
And I must admit, I'm liking a lot of pink and white in the garden at the moment. I've got a lot of pink and white in the garden. £8.97 if you do want to go for your Japanese anemones. 480128 is your item number. But we're going to our last one, which is kind of a little bit, I'm going to say that word, Christmassy themed again, because, well, I asked why is it Christmassy before the show. And I said, I understand it has Yuletide there. And I was like, but why?
Why do we call it Yuletide?
Makes it Christmassy?
Well, we call it Yuletide because what you're getting on here is a gorgeous flowering shrub that can get to a really decent size if you allow it to, but that will flower like this, typically over Christmas. So right at the end of the year, and we can see on here, we were doing bud hunting the other day. Oh, there's a really big fat bud there.
That one's there that's just about to...
Just by my thumb. In fact, there's a collection of buds there. There's a good 3 of them on that particular stem. And you can, look, I can even see the red. Can I turn it slightly? Can you see the red starting to come through there? So the flowers are about to come out on this, typically from around November time, but going through December and January as well. And it's the combination of that lovely deep green, glossy leaves and those bright red flowers with the yellow centres.
OK, quick question then.
Yes.
So is this typical of the sort of size that is going to be delivered?
Yes, absolutely. What we bring into the potting shed should be what you receive at home. Sometimes we have to trim things to get them to you, but I doubt that this would need trimming. This is how this is going to arrive.
So I was actually just counting the buds on one single stem, and I've gone to about 8, 9 buds on one stem. And then
just one stem.
Just
and there
one
are,
stem.
This is multi-branched, multi-stems.
So if you look at the multi-branch, multi-stems, I mean, that is, and like, even if we take, let's just look, just on the top here, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just on this tiny section of that stem. So you can really see how they are going to balloon into beautiful balls of colour for you. And I love that you get that across December. And what a red to have as well. That's a real bam Christmas red, isn't it? That's
definitely.
A real
the red, the
red
green, it's those lovely festive colours, and I think it's a really interesting, different take on Christmas. You know, I've got a couple of our holly standards that we do here, the standard holly bushes that we've got, and I love them. They're very festive, but they're very typically festive, aren't they? This is a nice take on something that's going to give you that festive colour, that's just a little bit different. If you went for a pair of these in pots, either side of your front door,
so you can pot this.
Oh, totally. They can go into a border if you want.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Because, like, what is the Christmas flower?
Oh, the poinsettia. I hate them.
Right, do you not...
I'm not a poinsettia
people love
fan.
poinsettias.
No, I'm not.
Now, I'm not a huge poinsettia fan, but that is the Christmas flower, right?
Yeah,
That's what everyone goes to. It's red, has a bit of green to it, and they're like, oh, lovely, that's your poinsettia. I would much prefer someone to gift me that and to put that in a pot and wake up and be able to kind of see throughout December that flowering in my garden.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have that.
It's another thing that's going to give you that colour that is tricky to get over those kinds of months.
Yeah.
November, December, January, typically really difficult to get colour, and we're talking about gorgeous, bright, Christmassy colours.
Big colour.
Winter hardy. I'd put it somewhere sort of sheltered-ish. So don't put it somewhere it's going to get completely battered by wind, but yeah, somewhere nice and sheltered. Apparently Olwen's got this, and she's got it planted in a half-barrel planter, which would be a really nice one for this. Oh, and we were saying about our pots being heavy. Her husband put wheels on all the half-barrel planters.
Nice, like it.
Oh, that's clever.
Very savvy.
That's very savvy. I like that. So she could move them around really easily.
Well, do you know what? Tiny segue as we're speaking of Christmas. Do you know what one of my many jobs is?
Go on.
I shall be getting the nation ready for panto season.
No way.
By installing 8 different pantomimes around the country this year.
Really?
Yeah. So all over the country I'll be going. You know, I've been loading the lorries and getting. Well, I haven't loaded them yet, but we've been.
Oh, no,
sorting all of the. Oh, yes, I have. Sorting all of the sets and props and costumes and things out, and then I shall load up the lorries, sit in the lorries and drive them around the country, and then I shall set the pantomimes up for everybody.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Great job.
Thing. And like, I would encourage people, we've had a rough few years, like it's been lots of stuff going on. Have a great Christmas, have a wonderful winter season this year, enjoy all these little moments, and imagine something like that. You open the curtains to your back garden, you see these big bursts of red, there's a little bit of frost around, you see the spider's webs with all the little link. Do you know what? Come on, let's just make things a little bit pretty and beautiful. And like Bex was saying, lighten the mood a little bit. So £17.99 if you do want to go for your Yuletide. 510818 is your item number if you are going to go for it. If you're not in the club, it's just under £20, but don't forget, it's such a smart thing to do. So well done, and go for that one, I think.
Yeah, OK, so the next one we've got is a Patty's Plum, and this is a poppy for your garden.
Plum?
Yeah, I love this one. I think it's such a gorgeous colour. It's kind of got this, I mean, look at that colour. Look at that centre, look how interesting that is. And then you've got this lovely plum-coloured poppy, which is ruffled, and I think it's got an antique sort of silk look to it. That colour really speaks to me. And this is going to come to you as a bare root as well. So very much like our peony that we're giving away as the free gift, this is a bare root. It's bare root season. Now's the time to plant those bare roots in the garden. They're going to give you these gorgeous flowers next year. You will get flowers. You should definitely get flowers next year. But as with all of these sorts of things, they will mature and established, so they'll just keep getting better. Now, it's an ugly little thing. It looks like an alien. It does look like an alien. That's how you're going to plant it in the ground. Not too deep, actually. It doesn't want to be too low beneath the soil surface. My finger is about where. So rooty bit down, and then the soil just above the top there. Again, mark it where you've planted it so you don't dig it up accidentally. There's 3 of them in there. You do need to plant them relatively soon. You don't want them to dry out. So get those in the garden. These will flower for you in around May and June time. If you trim them back as well after flowering, you can sometimes get a second flush of flowers coming through as well later on. A little bit shorter, but you will get a second flush. And you can divide these over the years as well to create more plants in your garden, because they will form clumps and you can divide them. And poppies are just, they've got amazing symbolism, haven't they? But they are beautiful, beautiful flowers.
Do you know, actually, purple poppies are actually a symbol for the animals.
Are they?
Yeah, purple poppies are a symbol of the animals, or they've been taken as a symbol for the animals that dedicated their life and service during the war.
I never knew that.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. You've educated me today.
Come from. So there you go, fantastic. And they are beautiful, and they look like kind of crepe paper flowers. They are absolutely spectacular. Compost, though, you've got to have the you've got to have the right thing. So I always say you've got to have the right tool for the job. Whatever the job is, this is the tool for your plants. Now, I always say about this particular compost, because I've used this particular compost many, many, many times before. It is the right tool for the job. However, it is not the right tool for the job if you're planning to put blueberries in it.
Yeah, well, there's the blueberries, there's the camellias, the gardenias.
Don't put blueberries in this. They will survive and they will kind of grow, but they're going to have to fight hard to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll get onto their compost in a minute. That's the stuff that they should be in.
Yeah.
They should be in that one, which is what I'm going to be doing and changing those over. £10 and 79p. That's a great price as well. £10.79.
It is for 60 litres.
Yeah, really great price. But so if you want to just do, if I was just going to get that, I'm still going to get that. And I'd get my Peony.
Yes, you would. As long as you use the code YGTV4124, you'll get the saving on the compost, but we'll also put that free gift into your basket as well. And it's postage included here, so you're not paying any postage. So that's a great order, just that.
Love it. Great. Okay, let's go back to our regular. I say regular. There's nothing regular about this compost.
Well, this would be great. So if you were planting your poppy, by the way, so putting that into a border somewhere, I would dig a slightly deeper hole and put a little bit in it. Put a little bit of this in the bottom of that hole. You know, put a decent amount in there, because this contains some amazing, amazing ingredients. So it's really going to help whatever you're planting when you put it into that pot or into the ground. We say anything from seeds through to trees is going to have the most fantastic life in this compost. Now, it's packed with amazing ingredients. There's a bit of peat in here, a few different types of peat. We've got sphagnum moss peat. That is a renewable source of peat, so that's fine. The other stuff, the dark and the white peat, that isn't renewable, but what we have done is reduce that amount of peat down in order to give sort of the minimum amount but the maximum results. As you can see from Sean in his garden here, there's so many different things. Look, he's doing his little trays here so we can put seeds and things, or maybe it's the garden ready, the pro plugs you're putting in there. Anything you're planting into pots, anything you're putting into borders. Now, you've not just got the peat in there, we've got this, the composted wood fibre, and you can, it looks and feels so different to any compost I've ever bought in the past, honestly, because it's got this gorgeous texture to it. All those composted wood fibre that you can see, and really well composted. There's no big chunks and lumps and things in here, which means it's perfect for smaller plants. You know, they haven't got to fight with all those great big lumps and chunks. We've got, and that composted wood fibre helps with this texture, gives it a lovely, light, airy texture, which means that roots can grow, you know, there's room for them to spread. There's oxygen that can get around those roots as well, because that's really, really important for root development. We've got a slow release fertiliser in here. Any green balls that you can see as I'm running through that compost, those are the slow release fertiliser balls. Now that's going to release, there, look, that's going to release a slow release fertiliser into the compost, which is going to feed your plants. That's so vital, particularly if you're like me and you forget. I'm rubbish at it. I always, every year, say I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it regularly this year, and I always don't.
Hat off to my wife. She has been on the feeding of our plants this year, and it has made such a difference. It
makes a big difference, but at least with this, it's already in there. So if you forget, like me,
kind of
it's all
the
good.
Ball rolling.
It'll last a good sort of 4, 5, maybe 6 months. You'll get out of that feed, so that's really good.
And there's so many of them in here as well. You look through, there's so much feed that's actually in there as well.
It's actually one of the most expensive ingredients as well, so it's great that there's so much of that in there. We've got a wetting agent in here, which is really important as well, because it makes the water stick to the compost. And we always talk about have you ever done it when you're watering a pot or a hanging basket, and you're there with the watering can or the hose, and all the water's just coming over, it's not going into the compost. This wetting agent helps the water to go in there and hold on to it, which is really important. So the pH buffer is the other thing, which puts it just left of neutral. Let's go with that, shall we? But it means that it's perfect for the majority of the plants you're going to put in here. Houseplants as well, love it. But the majority of the things you've got in your garden will go in here. Slightly different theme today. We have got some more ericaceous plants on the show. But basically, I always say like 98% of the things you're going to plant in your garden are going to not just like it. They're not just going to go, this is nice. They're going to be having a party.
Love it.
Woohoo, spring break, yeah! They're going to be having the absolute best time in this compost. You rate it, all of our viewers, all of the people that shop, rate this so highly that they won't buy anything else. And Olwyn, I know you always call it your gold star or gold medal product, won't buy any other compost. And it just makes you a better gardener overnight.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. And the pricing is fantastic. 100 litres, £22.48. 100. Yeah, so here we go. Let's have a look at some of the reviews that you got for this as well. So, love this compost. Bought it several times. Try it. You won't be disappointed. Good quality compost and reasonably priced. Delivery was quick, so all good. Excellent quality, as usual, from YouGarden. Again, I couldn't agree. And look, 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. I have used 1.5 bags of compost to fill 2 very large planters. The compost is totally different to all other multi-use compost. The quality is very good. I'm pleased with the order. I have 16 small hanging bar sticks to fill next spring for French marigolds to Dieter Elfids and fruit trees. I mean, fantastic. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for people to tell us how they have got on with it, because that's what really matters to everybody. And I use this compost and it's always done me proud. I've never had problems or issues. So genuinely add that into your basket. And am I right in saying that you can get as much of this as you want as well?
Say that again, sorry.
You can get as much compost as you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you want to order multiple bags of it, you can. And in actual fact, if you want industrial sized quantities, if you need massive amounts. If you get in touch with our customer services, they'll do a deal for you, basically. Oh,
well, there you go. Even see, you learned something. At some point, I've got to ask.
You might need to do that.
Yeah, probably. I've got to ask a question at some point about it's an indoor plant.
Okay.
I need to ask a question about a Japanese peace lily.
Japanese peace lily. Oh, we can talk about that later. We'll be on TikTok later on, where we will be doing some houseplants.
Oh,
don't know if any of you have got TikTok or downloaded TikTok, but we're starting to do regular shows on TikTok as well. So Tuesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon as well. So we'll be on TikTok from about 1:30, I think it is.
There's different deals.
There is different deals on there. And loads of indoor plants. So if you're into your indoor plants, which I am,
just download it. Just set up an account. It's dead simple, and then you can watch that, and then just watch it for YouGarden if you want. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay, why are you ruffling through bark?
Because we've got a great deal on bark for you as well.
Oh, okay. I thought this was just something else that you just wanted
it's
to play
quite tactile.
with.
It's quite lovely.
It's quite tactile.
Good fun. Excuse me. Now this is the ornamental spruce bark mulch, and this is absolutely fantastic for a few different reasons. Neatens up the garden, suppresses weeds, gives the plants that need it a little bit of a duvet over winter. You can use it in your borders. You can use it to dress the top of pots.
Okay.
You can use it in so many places, and it just really has so many different benefits. But rather than me talk about it, shall we hear from our lovely Sean Ryan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see.
Hello, well this is our YouGarden ornamental spruce bark mulch. It looks gorgeous actually, it's a really, really nice quality, but there are so many uses for this. It's great as a weed suppressant. So if you've got areas in your garden, beds and borders that get lots of weeds, a nice thick layer of this will just suppress those weeds. Also great as a top dressing around pots and containers. That's what I'm going to use it for here. If you've got children's play areas, it makes a nice soft cushion around those play areas, or maybe areas in your garden that you need to walk over. Having this there just makes it a lot safer and a lot easier. So I'm going to use it here. The reason being, I've got the Euonymus here. And to be honest, whenever I've tried to plant things around them, they've never done that well. This is just full of roots. It really, really is. So what I'm going to do, because I think it looks I just don't think it looks very nice. It looks a little bit ugly. I'm just going to do a nice thick layer of this and just see. Oh, see, yeah, this is going to really work. I'll tell you what, because it's autumn as well, I think that's going to look fun. Also, it is a great duvet. If you've got something that's a little bit tender, something like the Agapanthus that I had growing here in the summer, it's a tender perennial. So if it needs that extra protection from cold weather, then this would be absolutely superb. That looks so good, doesn't it? Really nice. Do you know what I'm amazed about? So I haven't done as thick a layer as you normally would for some other jobs, but it's amazing how far this has actually gone. And some of our regular YouGarden customers have bought several bags of this. It can really just make the whole garden look so much more neater and tidier. So I've just stood back and had a look at this from a distance. And what really struck me as well is that all the green foliage now really stands out. You've got the contrast of the green with the bark mulch, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. I really should have done this many, many years ago.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love anything that can help in making our gardens, one, look that little bit better, but two, has that bit of purpose and has that kind of effect. I always love it when something looks fantastic, but also has function. I absolutely think it's brilliant. So 100,061 is your item number for your ornamental spruce bark for 70 litres, which is around 3 square metres of coverage, just to give you a bit of an idea. It is on a half price today, which is $14.99 or $13.49 if you are in the club. So if you're not in the club already, make sure you sign up to the club because you do not want to miss out on these wonderful deals. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap because we've been here for about an hour and 10 minutes or so. So we're here for a couple more hours, but while Bex is over having a little sit down, put her feet up, a little slice of toast. So she's not really, she's busy working away. I'm going to give you a little refresh of what we've already seen this morning, starting with our cranberries. 310047 is your item number, £9.99 or £8.99. However, this is on a double up deal. So if you wanted to go for 2 of these, popping them in a couple of little pots so you can get cranberry crops for next year, you can have it for £14.99 if you did want to go for your cranberries. So we're going to move on to our Ceanothus next. Now this is the Californian lilac version of your Ceanothus, and look at the beautiful colour that you can get from these blossoms that they come. This is a little bit smaller, Bex was saying, so it's not going to grow up as tall. However, if you put it in a shaded area, it's going to grow a bit taller because it's going to be searching for the sun. That's what Bex's advice was. So try and find a kind of a nice spot to pop it in. £9.99 or £8.99 if you're in the club. It's going to bring those flowers through to you in spring, and this is a 2-litre pot size that you've got, just to give you a bit of an idea. 510886 is the item number for you. This is the Daphne the Perfume Princess. Now I learned about this one today. Beautiful looking flowers, and you can see you're getting small clusters of flowers here as well. They're not huge big blossoms, but there's a lot of them, and the perfume that comes from them, spectacular, absolutely spectacular. £12.99 should be a recommended price of just under £23. If you're in the club though, £11.69 for you. 511038 is your item number if you want to go for our Perfume Princess. Now we've got a few different collections that are available for you, but we're going to start with our Acers. Beautiful, beautiful looking trees. They are elegant colours. There's 3 different varieties that you're actually going to be getting. You've got the Emerald Lace, the Orange Dream, and the Purpureum. Thanks for that one. 510134 is your item number for the collection. Now you'll get 1 of each, and they're all in 10.5 centimetre pots. £19.97 if you're not in the club, or £17.97 if you are in the club for these. Now, I've tried to grow Acers. Unfortunately, where I put them, the wind just did not have the same plan as me. So keep them in a nice sheltered spot, and they don't want to be in full sun. So kind of a dappled shade is what you're looking for with this. Beautiful colours that come through, and those leaves that change, and you're getting 1 of each variety as well. So you've got a bit of different texture. I was saying if you can find a spot as well where you can get the shadow to be cast onto your patio, especially if you've got a light patio, oof, takes you right back to the Mediterranean. It'd be absolutely beautiful. Now, one of Bex's favourites that we had to mention are gardenias. Beautiful perfume that comes from these, absolutely exquisite. The flowers on them are lovely. They're a nice kind of, not a delicate flower, I wouldn't describe them as, but they have a nice presence, a nice purpose, but beautiful fragrance, so you can move these around your garden as well. So if you're going to have friends over or something, move them into an area if you're keeping them in pots where the fragrance can really come up. 511 452 is your item number, 3 9cm pots, $17.97 if you're not in the club, or $16.17 if you are in the club. There will all be white flowers on here as well, so don't think you're getting different colour ones in this particular collection. They're all going to be a white flower. Okay, so the next section, this is our ericaceous section. So you are going to need the ericaceous compost. Do not put any of the following ones into the professional compost, because they're not going to like it as much. Use this. This is a 60-litre bag for £10.79. That's an incredible price for ericaceous compost. 100042. This is a better than half price deal that you've got on this. Make sure you're in the club for that extra little saving on this compost as well. So all of these ones that are coming up, rhododendrons to start with. This you are going to get one of each colour. You're going to get the red, the pink, the white that will come in this. You've got 3 9cm pots that are going to be coming. And they're 510804, $9.97 not in the club, $8.97 if you are in the club. These are going to be fantastic because if you wanted that kind of disbursement of colour, if you want to move colour around your garden, you've got those 3 colours that you can play with here for your garden, for your look of it as well. If you want something similar colourways that you could match in, we've got that in the hardy Japanese anemone collection. Same size pots, 9cm pots, and they're coming in the same kind of price, $9.97 or $8.97 if you're in the club. But likewise, you will get the white, the pink and the red included for these as well. 480128 is your item number for those ones. Now, Yuletide. This is my Christmas plant pick. This is what I would say. I would much rather you buy me the Yuletide for Christmas instead of buying me a poinsettia, okay? Because you get these beautiful flowers kind of in December time, and look at the contrast between those reds and the green foliages that you've got there. Put these in a couple of pots, look outside when the frost's there a little bit, and you've got these plants, you've got that pop of colour coming through December, and also you know that it's there and it'll keep coming back. $17.99 if you're in the club, or just under £20 at $19.99 if you're not, and it's a 15cm pot. 510818 is your item number. Now, you just saw our lovely Sean talking about it. You saw how he was decorating and protecting his plants at the pub using the ornamental spruce bark mulch. It's a 70-litre bag. You've got a saving of just under £15 on this. $14.99 if you're not in the club, $13.49 if you are in the club. But a nice way just to kind of give that little bit of protection, but also that little bit of a look, that little bit of a dressing up, make it a little bit more of a fun feature into your garden. 100061 if you do want to go for that. Now, let's kind of come back because we have got so much more still to show you. We've only got about an hour and a half, just over an hour and a half to go. Nearly halfway through.
Already? Mm-hmm. Huh. That went quick, didn't it?
Well, time flies when you're having fun.
Alwyn's gone. She said she's going to watch back later
have a
on.
roast. Oh, enjoy.
I know.
Let us know which bit of cake you bring back.
Oh, cake.
Love a bit of cake.
Love a bit of cake.
Love a Sunday roast as well. Love.
I haven't done a roast for ages.
One of my favourite parts of a roast has got to. What I do like a broccoli and leek cheese.
You're not veggie, are you?
Yeah.
You are veggie. Yeah, I thought you were. See, my favourite part of the roast, because I always do chicken, because that's what the kids will eat, is the crispy chicken skin, because no one else in the family will eat it, which is the best bit. But the kids, the husband, and I don't mind. So I cook the roast, and in the kitchen, because you get the chicken out, you leave it to rest. So there's a good 20 minutes. Everything else is nice and done, and I pour myself a little glass of wine. and I pull the skin off that chicken, and I'm just in the kitchen on my own, like, glass of wine, Oh, it's like my favourite part of the week.
What's your favourite part of a roast? Let us know in the comments. Send it through. What's your favourite part? And if you're doing a roast, when are you starting your roast today?
So sorry, I like the chicken skin, but you like the broccoli and cheese.
I love it. Any cheese.
Anything with cheese on it.
That's amazing. Right, but hang on. So I was going to ask you, Stu, do we still have any of our pots left? Ooh.
Not many. Still few.
Next, so if you're really quick, you might be able to get your pots. Okay.
That's the infinity planters. It's a buy one, get 3 free.
3 for free.
4 in total.
Crazy. 7.19. There you go. Stu's really quickly popped the details up for you as well. 130283. But you've got to be quick because there's not very many of those left. Okay. Oh, so we're going to do our other planters. Okay.
Yeah, we'll show the other one as well, because, I mean, this is a great deal we've got on these. This is actually just part of the new range that we brought in earlier on this year. So it's less than a year old, and we're doing an amazing deal for you here. So it is a big saving. You are going to get 2 of these. They're a great size. This is an absolutely brilliant size. I mean, you could put your Agapanthus in here, actually, quite happily, which we're going to talk to you about in a second. The Camellia Yuletide, that would work great in here. In fact, pretty much nearly everything that we've shown you so far could live really, really happily in here. Love the design, love the shape. I like that it's a square pot. You know, I've got lots of round pots in my garden, but square sometimes works really nicely. Like I just bought, you might have seen them already. I've got the spiral stem olive trees. I've got the big ones, the 1.2 metre ones. They're really nice. And I've been looking at it and I'm like, a round pot isn't going to work. I need a square pot for those. So there's certain things that just require that square shape. It's just going to look better. And that's where this one's going to come in. I love the tapered shape to it as well. I think it's beautiful. 2
of these you're getting for £13.49. Really, really, really worthwhile. 20 litre capacity, 36 centimetre diameter across your pots that you've got there. They're really good. They're really tactile and I love the colour. I love that light colour.
It's going to
contrast. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. Really does work well. And I think that's something people sometimes don't necessarily think about with their pots, is how the pot actually will affect the look of a
sometimes
plant.
it's the dark pot that's really going to make it stand out, and other times it's the light pot that's really going to make it stand out, depending on what you're planting in it. So we've got both options for you.
Well, there you go. See, covering all your bases here at YouGarden. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you are just tuning in, if you've just woken up, you're just having your coffee, your Danishes, have a lovely, nice Sunday lie-in. I'm proud of you. It was really good. If you didn't and you've been up with us for a while, thank you so much for joining us. Please send your pictures, send your comments. Stu's covering over the Facebook. Bex can check in on YouTube to see if anyone's been commenting. We'd love to see your pictures of your garden, what you're getting up to, what's your Sunday going to be like. I'd love to know, because it's been a while since I've got to be here. I'm Tim. This is Bex. You know Bex, I mean, but so many more deals to show you, so much to go through in the next hour and a half. So we're going to start with the Agapanthus, you said.
Yeah, the Africanus blue, which is the tall variety. So there's a few different types of Agapanthus that you can get, but this one is the Africanus. So these are the big ones. So you get this lovely. I mean, I love the foliage that you get on here. Really kind of luscious green foliage at the base. But it's when these flowers come through, these absolutely stunning firework displays, and they are big, they are tall, they can get to 1 metre in height.
Oh, wow.
You get multiple flower stems from each plant as well. Over the years, they will, you know, establish and multiply. You can get, I mean, there's one I walked past in a garden just around the corner from me, and I was looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's one plant, and I counted 18 flower stems up on that one. I wouldn't expect that in the first year. You'll get multiples in the first year, but obviously over the next few years, it'll multiply. It'll form clumps as well, so actually it's something that you can divide in later years and spread that around.
It kind of looks like it would be that kind of clump.
Yeah, you've definitely got a clump going on in there already. I wouldn't divide it yet, but certainly in a few years you can then divide that and create even more plants from this. And the flowers are just incredible. They really are the most sort of attention-grabbing, beautiful flowers.
And I love the colour as well. I love blue. I love blue flowers, and you don't tend to find that many blue flowers.
It's one of the rarest colours.
Like I've tried, I bought from YouGarden here before. The name's evading me. I've got them in the shadiest spot in my garden. The small little
bells, geranium bells, blue ones. Bluebells.
No. It'll come to me. I'll find a picture and dig it out. It'll come to me again. It would pop in my mind because I'm trying to think about it. I can't remember it. But blue is one of those colours that I think it just stands out.
Yeah.
It makes a little bit of a difference to your garden.
Definitely.
Because you get lots of reds, lots of whites, lots of pinks and things like that. But also that kind of foliage, it does feel quite tactile as well.
It's lovely, honestly, it's gorgeous. And the thing is, it doesn't compete with the flower either, because it stays around the base of the plant. But because this flower spike that comes up out of here gets up, and it can get, as I say, a metre in height, the foliage doesn't compete with the flower. Now, the trick to making the flower is to keep the roots hugged.
Right.
And I wouldn't normally say this, because I would always say put everything in our compost. But actually, this is the kind of plant you've got to treat it mean. Be mean to it.
Just chuck it in a bit.
Does not want to be in nutrient-rich soil. And this is the mistake I've made with my Agapanthus, as you all know, because you all send you pictures of your Agapanthus, and I can't get my Agapanthus to flower. And the reason is...
Not that that's a bugbear at all.
It's a problem. And you all know it, because you all send me your pictures. It's going to flower next year. Next year is my year for my Agapanthus. But basically what I did is I put it in our compost. But because I put it in something really nutrient-rich, my Agapanthus is going, I'm having a lovely time. I'm just going to give you leaves.
Just leaves. But what beautiful leaves you get. Stu, you are correct. The Corydales.
Corydales, the blue heron. Love that plant.
Yeah, so I had
favourites.
I had 3 of those, and I think I'd packed it in a little bit too tight to some other things. So I was like, it's not the right time. I've got to go for it though. One stayed where it was that I thought it's just on the edge, he might be okay, and the other 2 came out and I moved the other 2. One didn't like it, was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
One has still survived that moved. I was like, okay, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but they're still not quite taken yet. They've still not quite done what I wanted them to do, so I'm having that same kind of struggle, but I'm going to crack it.
Semi-shady spot.
It's in a semi-shady spot.
You don't want it in too much sun at all.
No, it's
Mine gave it. Okay, all right. Next year. Just keep thinking. Next year's the year. It's the same for me and my Agapanthus. So keep the roots nicely hugged. Don't put it into a massive, great big pot. If you're going to take this plant and put it in an April planter, what I would suggest is just bury the pot. Don't take it out of that pot. Bury the pot. Because it wants to keep its roots hugged. And then as it gets bigger, then you can take it out of the pot and replant it in there. So just keep those roots hugged, and don't put it into our premium professional compost. You want poor soil, basically. It'll flower for you if it's got poor soil.
Go and dig up some mud from somewhere.
They grow really well in coastal because they like free draining, but just not very nutrient rich, basically. It's a great price on that as well, by the way. It's in a 3-litre pot, so it's a really nicely established one already, and it's under £10 today.
That is, I mean, it is a phenomenal price to have something like that. You know, that well established.
Yeah, absolutely.
£8.99 if you're in the club, £9.99 if you're not in the club. 560321 is your item number if you do want to go for that one. Okay, here we go. Bulbs. 3 for 2 as well. So this is kind of special little deals that you can get. Well, they're not little deals. They're whoppers of deals, to be honest. So you're getting a lot of bulbs. I've never done lots with bulbs until about a year or so ago, and then I started to, and then lilies were one of my things.
Oh, I love lilies. I had so many lilies this year.
The definition of treat them mean was me and my lilies.
Really?
Literally put them in a pot for the first year and then just kind of left them.
Yep.
To the point where after the flowers, just cut them back and went, yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that's exactly how to do it.
Left them brutally throughout the winter, just left them in a pot all winter. Did nothing to them, didn't move them, and then it kind of came back again. And they did get a little bit smaller, And I was like, okay, so now they're kind of done.
This is the beautiful thing with pots, though, because they're so easy, you know? You plant them, you water them, you sit back, you wait, and they're going to pop up out the ground. We have got your spring garden covered here.
Nice.
Now, you are getting a 3 for 2 included in this deal, which means that you can mix and match. We're not saying you have to buy 3 of the same. You can actually mix it up, which I think is brilliant that we were able to offer that. So it might be that you love tulips, but you might also love your tete-a-tetes, your narcissus, those little daffodils, or the other tulip mix that we've got for you, right by you there, that one. That's my top tip. I love that one because you're getting 7 different varieties included in there. But you can mix and match. Whichever 3 bags you want, just put those in your basket, 1 will be free. As long as you use the code. You gotta use the code.
YGTV 4124, that's the code. Put that in when you're on the website. And then you're going to get these deals. So let's run it through, and then I'm going to ask you, once we've run through, which 3 you would pick, and then I'm going to go with which 3 I'm going to pick.
Okay, well, there were a couple of the most popular ones from the customers this week.
Okay.
And it was, I believe this was one of them, wasn't it? This was one of them. Was it the Spring Festival? Was it the Narcissus tete-a-tete? Yeah. So for the customers, it was tete-a-tete and it was Tulip Triumph. Those were the two most popular. There's another couple of bulbs, we'll show you those in a minute, that are part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. Okay. But let's start off with the customers' most popular, the Tulip Triumph mix. This is a classic when it comes to spring flowering bulb. I mean, you know, you can't have a spring flowering bulb collection without some tulips in there. They are Triumph varieties. Stu's saying if you plant it, you win. That's why it's called Triumph. I'm not sure if that's the truth, but anyway. They are lovely, the tall variety of tulips. So we're talking 40, 50 centimetres in height. And they've got the classic cup shape, that lovely goblet shape flower.
You say tulip, that's what you think.
Exactly,
That's exactly what you think of.
Yeah, I mean, unlike the other one, which it does not look like a tulip to me, but we'll come to that. This is classic tulip for you. Lovely, fiery, hot colours. You've got the reds, the yellows, the oranges, you've got the pinks.
There's a real collection.
I mean, there's a lovely dark one in there, potentially, that you could have. And then you've got the whites as well to offset everything. Hot colour schemes, hot planting. That is what draws the eye. That's what draws the attention. That's what creates a focal point in your garden. If you've got a long garden and you want to trick the eye, plant hot colours at the end because it reduces the space, it brings it forward, which is a really clever thing to do when you're planting, if you're doing sort of garden design, to bring it forward, put hot colours at the end. If you want to elongate a garden, put cool colours because it makes it look longer. Weird, but it tricks the eye. So Tulip Triumph, these are really good sized bulbs as well. So we are talking incredible quality, professional bulbs. I'm squeezing the bag because there is nothing squishy in here. If you get a squishy bulb, don't bother planting it because it's not going to flower. It's just going to rot in the ground, basically. But these are always fantastic quality. Plant them pointy side up, about 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb. That's your job done.
Okay,
sit back and wait.
Next question, so let's say I get a bag of tulip bulbs. Yep. What spacing?
Well, it gives you the spacing on the bags, so you do get plant depth and plant spacing, but I never pay attention. So
do you see that without your glasses?
I can't. Plant spacing says 20 centimetres. I'm never going to plant my tulips 20 centimetres apart.
You know what I mean? I think that's quite far. That's 20 centimetres.
That's quite far. So there are instructions on there. However, I packed my tulips in last year. I mean, I left maybe 3 centimetres between each of them, and they all flowered beautifully. If you want to follow the rules, do what it says on the bag, but I didn't. You can pack them in, it's fine.
She's a rebel.
You can pack them in.
Throwing the rules down.
Just put them in. Yeah, as long as you've got a little bit of space, because obviously they need to grow and they need to send shoots out and they've got foliage, so, you know, leave 3-4 inches between them, you'll be fine.
All right, OK. Great, love it.
And don't worry too much about plant depth, depth of planting. Honestly, it really... as long as you've got it deep enough.
Do you know the best tip I ever got for plant depth with bulbs and things like that?
What's that? Yeah, use your finger.
Use your finger. Literally, soil, finger, that's your depth
If
of
it's
your
a
bulb.
finger length, you'll be fine. It just needs to, because these are the taller variety, so I would just try and make sure you're going 3 times the depth with this, because obviously they're taller, so you want them to withstand any wind. So if you plant them at, if they're too shallow, they might blow over more. But yeah, get your finger in, put them in. And if it's on the side, don't worry, it'll still flower, it'll find its way. Nature finds a way.
Always does. £8.99 if you're in the club. That's number 1. This is a mix and match, OK? So there's 3 that you're going to pick for. So that's our Tulip Triumph.
Yes.
Are we going to do our
let's go Spring Festival.
OK, Spring Festival mix then.
So in the Spring Festival, you're getting the Anemones, you're getting the Dutch Iris, and you're getting some Tritelias included in here as well.
Tritelias.
Gorgeous mixture of bulbs here. The colour combination is absolutely incredible. It's been perfectly put together, so this is going to work gorgeously. They all come to you in one bag, by the way, so they're not individual bags.
Right.
But that's why we've put them all together in this bag, because they work so beautifully together, so you don't need to worry too much about this. You will get a slightly successional way of the flowering. I think the Tritelias will come up first. I think the Dutch Iris will come up next, and then the Alliums will come up after us, because the Alliums tend to be slightly early summer, and the others are more springtime. But that means you're going to get that successional flowering going on. The blues, the purples, the yellows, the whites. I mean, that is just a perfect colour combination. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, really beautiful. Again, $8.99 for these. 600 to 5.9 is your item number for your Spring Festival mix. If you wanted to go for those, that's 2 of our collections. Now we're going to go on to our Narcissus tete-a-tete.
Head-to-head. We like the tete-a-tetes. They are one of the most popular of our daffodil bulbs, and it's called tete-a-tete because each flower stem produces multiple flowers. So it's not just one flower per stem. You get multiples on here, and that's unusual. Well, not unusual, but not all of them do that, basically.
Yeah.
Some daffodil varieties, it's 1 flower per stem.
Yes.
With this, you can get up to, I think it's up to 4 per stem, basically,
Okay.
here. They're the lovely short variety as well. So tete-a-tetes are about, probably no taller than 15 centimetres. And I'm such a fan of dinky daffodils. I absolutely adore them. The reason being is that, you know, with shorter daffodils, it means that you can plant them in loads of different places. So if you were planting a 50-centimetre daffodil, one of the taller varieties, would you put that in the top of a hanging basket? No. Would you put it in a window box? No. You probably wouldn't put it in your rockery either, because it's just too tall. It just doesn't work. But this variety being shorter means you can plant it in all the places you'd put a taller one, but in the places you wouldn't put a taller one. Top of hanging baskets, window boxes, and they look absolutely gorgeous planted through a rockery as well. Even look fantastic planted as lawn drifts. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Not done it, but seen it. Yeah.
I tried it last year, but unfortunately, clay soil, not as many came up because I've just got hideous, thick, claggy clay soil, which doesn't work for me and my bulbs, which is why I do mostly bulb planting in pots
What
now.
I love is where I live, you come out of my street and you turn left and you start walking down towards the town, and there's some bigger houses walking on the way down to town, and one of the old couple that lives in one of those houses, on the side of the road where all the trees and things are, they've planted loads of bulbs.
Nice.
They've kind of gone out there really subtly and just planted, and you get this beautiful collection of daffodil. One of the things of daffodil, and they've got some shorts and some talls, and they've just made this wonderful kind of collection to come up outside the house, and it's really lovely because it's just a beautiful.
Well, it'll multiply as well. This is the beautiful thing. They're just going to multiply. They're long-lived. They're very reliable. They come back year after year. You know, daffodils are one of the most reliable, really, with spring bulbs at multiplying and coming back.
Okay. Beautiful. So it's actually daffodils, that's your tete-a-tetes. 630-115 is your item number if you wanted to go for those. The Hardy Rock Garden Tulip Mix. Sorry, Stu in my ear was going rock hard next, and I was about to go rock hard. But it's not rock hard, it's Hardy Rock. Oh, see? It's only because he likes a bit of his rock with his flying V guitar.
So I love this collection. These are tulips. Would you believe that those are tulips? I mean, look at the shape of those flowers. I think they are absolutely incredible. Love the fact that you're going to look at these and say, well, is it a tulip? What is it? I quite like that. I like something just a little bit different.
I like the variety, though. There's a lot of colour there. There's
Loads of colour.
It's a nice variety, a good mix.
And they're nice and short as well. So we're only talking maybe sort of the Saxatilis, for example, which is this one here. That one potentially only going to get to about maybe 15, 20 centimetres in height. The others 20 centimetres, and maybe the Turkish ginger, I can't remember how to pronounce that one. That one can get up to about 30 centimetres in height. So we are talking shorter varieties of tulips, which means they will withstand, you know, weather. They won't get blown over as much. And yeah, you're right, Stu. It is about the fact that these are just that little bit more unusual, that you wouldn't necessarily instantly say that's a tulip. And I love something just a little bit weird and wonderful. I'm always going to go for my classics, for my favourites, for my, you know, tete-a-tetes. I'm going to get those planted. I'm going to have my classic tulips, but having something just that little bit different. I want to do something different in my garden every year, and that could be the little bit different for you this year.
I like that one. 600-433 is your item number if you wanted to go for those. Moving on to our Globemaster Alliums.
Oh, the Globemasters.
These are... I love these.
Yeah.
I think they're great. And I'll tell you what really made me love them is when I saw them in my friend's garden, and I've seen them grow over the years, the whoppers that theirs are now producing, the stems, they were so tall.
They were good this year, weren't they?
The flowers were huge. They were
know whose garden you're talking
enormous.
about. They're gorgeous.
So I was hearing all these people. I was like, it sounded more like there was a lorry reversing in. I was like,
into the potting shed.
What's going to happen? There's going to be the back of a lorry come through the potting shed.
Right, yeah, we've got the Allium Globemasters. Now, you don't get loads of these, but they are super, super special.
Big bulbs,
but they are big, big bulbs, as you can see. Like, you're getting 3 of these in each of these bags. I would potentially get 3 of these
Yeah.
And then come back and get 3 of something else.
Yeah.
I would, honestly, because these are absolutely incredible. Now, if you love your Alliums, you are really going to love the Globe Masters, OK? Because these are densely packed balls of colour that you get here. I love those purple balls that you get traditionally, what I think of as Alliums. But these are slightly more densely packed. Wildlife love them. Bees absolutely adore them. Nice, strong, sturdy stems. And these are quite a tall variety as well. These can get up to 1 metre in height. They will come back for you the next year as long as the squirrels don't dig them up. I unfortunately planted 5 Allium Globemaster bulbs this year. I lost 4 of them to the squirrels. I had 1. So this year I'm going to try and... Adam was here in the potting shed the other day and he was talking about put chicken wire over the top because it stops them from digging in. So I'm going to do that this year. But they are absolutely beautiful. I would try and go quite deep with this bulb though. So what do we say on the packet here? Let's have a little look. We say plant depth 5 centimetre. I'd go a little bit deeper than that personally. I would definitely go 2 to 3 times the depth of the bulb, probably 3 times the depth, just because it's going to be a nice tall stem.
Yes.
Again, you want it to be sturdy in the ground. If you go too shallow, it can blow over much easier. So I'd just go a little bit deeper with that one. Pots, gorgeous. Borders, amazing. Just put it somewhere nice and sunny. If you don't put it somewhere sunny, it will start reaching for the sun, so it'll go off to the side. You want it nice, tall and straight.
I think they're beautiful. So these are £13.49 if you're in the club. Now, obviously, it's a 3 for 2, so whichever 3 you go for, it will be the cheapest one that will be the free one for you. So if you went for, I agree, I'd go for 3 of these, and then I would be picking 3 others, and I'd probably mix and match through the others because you're getting more bulbs within the others for you as well.
Yeah.
Now, there is a few more that we're going to mention to you as well, but let's have a quick review of the other ones. So this is our Triumph Tulips, 60013 is your item number, £9.99 or £8.99 if you're in the club, 25 bulbs for that with a whole different mix and array of colours for you, that traditional tulip. We're going to go to our tete-a-tete. Now, 25 bulbs again for this one. These are the shorter variety, Bex was saying, so they're not as tall, so they're going to be really great for spacing out all around the garden into various different areas. I love the idea she was saying about a rockery. I think that would look really, really good. £8.99 for those in the club, £9.99 if you're not in the club, 630115 is your item number for that one. The Spring Festival mix. So this has got 3 different types. This is the Dutch Iris, the Allium Molly and the Tritia that you've got in there. All that kind of colours mould and blend one with the other. You've got the yellows, the blues that are in there, and a little hinting of some white that's going to come through, but really ties everything together. And Bex was also saying that those ones kind of designed to give you progressional colour as they're slightly going to come into bloom at different times. So £8.99, £9.99 for those, 600259 is your item number. 60 bulbs in that Spring Festival mix. So on to our hardy rock garden mix. These are the tulip that's not a tulip. The tulip that is a tulip, I'm not quite sure. Something a little bit different for you. Same kind of price that you've got here, £8.99, £9.99, 20 bulbs that you're getting here, 600433, but there's a real collection. There's a whole different variety of colours. You can see you've got some of the orange and yellows in those bright bursts, the pinks, the whites, even some red that you might be seeing as well. So a beautiful mix of colour, but I mean, it's a bit like a firework, like a star that's kind of burst itself open for those ones. 600433 is your item number for the Tulip Hardy Rock Garden Mix. Now, the Allium, the Globemaster, just saw those. These are going to be one of my picks. I love them. I think I'm going to get some of these and add them into my garden. I know just where I'm going to put them as well. I've got a good spot for them. £14.99 or £13.49. You get 3 bulbs because they're a bigger plant. So I would say buy 3 of these for your 3 for 2, and then I'd come back and mix and match. And I would probably do the first tulips that we saw, and I think I would go with the spring mix. Yeah, probably. So 600430 for your Globemaster Alliums. Now, we do have another couple of bulb options for you that we haven't shown you live, but we'll quickly show you them here. So this is the Muscari, the album. This is 600115, $8.99 or $9.99 if you're not in the club. I mean, these are like quite an unusual kind of collection, almost like little bells, like little bells, little like kind of bee houses.
Yeah, they're lovely. I mean, a lot of people know of them as the grape hyacinth, so you know the purple variety, because if you turn them upside down, they look like bunches of grapes.
Bunches of grapes.
But this is the white variety that you've got here. So if you've already got purple in your garden, get some white, because mix them in where you've got those purple ones coming up, and that will be a gorgeous colour combination. Lovely early spring flowering, carpet of colour, because they're very vigorous. They will spread beautifully and naturalise. And I love Muscari because I find that they are very neat bulbs. They tidy up after themselves. Sometimes you're waiting for foliage to disappear, but these just come up, go away. You barely even notice them when, you notice them when they're out, but you don't notice them when they're finished, is what I mean.
How tall are they, do you think?
Tiny, yeah, they're really small. We're only talking maybe 10, 15 centimetres.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay,
10 centimetres probably.
600115, that's your item number for your Muscari. 30 bulbs that you're going to be getting there. But we've also got the classic Muscari that you could get here as well, which is that different colour, that kind of blue that we're looking for. I do kind of like how I see why you're going with grapes for that.
Yeah.
As the green goes into the blue as it changes.
It's gorgeous, honestly. And as I say, it's just such a vigorous one in a good way, because it just creates a carpet of colour, but it's not annoying. It tidies up after itself. It disappears, so it doesn't, it doesn't get in the way of the rest of your garden.
I like it. Very carefree. 75 bulbs, 600210 is your item number if you wanted to go for the Muscari, the grape hyacinth album. Okay, so we're going to look at our Magnolia, the fairy bush to begin with. I love a Magnolia. I've always liked Magnolia.
Yes, me too.
I think they're really lovely. I think they're, for me as well, they're a gift. They're something I've always given as gifts to people.
Are they?
Yeah, always given
nice.
a Magnolia as a gift. I really like it. I love them as a flower. I love them as a plant.
Yeah, they're gorgeous,
really
honestly.
Like
and this one's quite unusual, actually, because this one will flower on a young plant as well. So sometimes with Magnolia, you have to wait several years until it matures, until you get those beautiful flowers. And it's worth waiting for, of course it is. But actually, the Magnolia Fairy Blush is one that will flower on a young plant. Plus, it's going to be a bit more compact as well, because if you think about Magnolia trees, they're tree size. They can get massive. We can't all fit one of those in our gardens. I mean, I probably could, but there wouldn't be much space for anything else. My mum's got a gorgeous magnolia tree, but she's got a massive garden. And she's got it as a lovely central bit in the middle of the lawn, and plants all around. I mean, it's gorgeous, but I can't grow one of those in my garden. It's just not big enough. But with something like this, you could actually, grow it in smaller gardens as well, because it's going to stay a little bit more compact.
Okay.
If you bought multiples of them as well, you could actually create like a hedge from this as well. It'd be great just as a single feature plant on its own, but you could create a gorgeous little hedge from this as well. You get masses of these beautiful flowers on here. You get this lovely colour to start with, and it sort of fades with age, so it goes to a sort of creamy white colour as it ages as well. And it's going to flower all the way along the stems. You don't just get them right at the end, which is absolutely beautiful. Very low maintenance, fairly, good growth rate. It's not like you're going to be waiting ages for this to establish, so a decent growth rate on it as well. And lightly scented as well, the flowers that you get here. We know how beautiful Magnolia is. When it comes into bloom, sort of anywhere between... It tends to be anywhere between March and May, doesn't it, when it'll come into bloom. Not exactly long-lived, the flowers, unfortunately, but still absolutely worth it once that's in bloom, because it's very magical, quite elegant.
I think that's one of the things I like. There's a few plants I like. Wisteria is another one.
Yeah.
Beautiful, but very short-lived.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those ones that I kind of look at and go, it's 100% worth it.
Yes.
A bit like some of the like cherry blossoms and things like you might see as well. Beautiful, worth it, but I find the reward from them.
Totally.
I really do. So I think that's beautiful. £16.19 if you're in the club, or £17.99 if you're not in the club. 510733 in a 3-litre pot as well. It's a good price. It's a really good
price. £12 saving. That's awesome.
That you're going for. So let's move over to the Black Pearl. I had to do it at some point.
Captain Jack.
The Black Pearl. Don't do it, because I spent a long time on TikTok the other day talking in that. 20 minutes I got stuck in an accent. Couldn't get out of it for 20 minutes.
Hopefully he did not offend the Bristolians.
No,
that's the accent you got stuck in.
Well, it crossed into Bristolian. It didn't start in Bristolian. It was a little bit more Somerset, and then it moved Bristolian.
I can't do accents, so we're safe with me, don't
years
worry.
and years and years ago, I used to do whenever I would do accents, I always used to wind up in Australian.
Really?
Regardless of what I would start in. I would always wind up into Australia. Don't know how, don't know why. Maybe it was subliminally I was saying maybe I should just go to be in Australia for a minute. Anyway, back to our Black Pearl.
I mean, the Laura Petala and Black Pearl, you need this in your garden.
Such a colour.
Look at those gorgeous colours. My word, how gorgeous is that colour. Beautiful black foliage you've got on there. And then these bright pink flowers that appear, and they are a shocking pink colour. They're not just a little bit pink, they are absolutely incredibly pink. Now, these traditionally, they will flower for you sort of early springtime. So anywhere between sort of February and April, these will burst into bloom for you. And they will give a second flush. Well, they will give us like a second flush of flowers at this time of year. So between sort of September, October, you do get a second flush of flowers. Never as big as the spring flush, but you do get some. And it occasionally sends out a few flowers throughout the summertime as well. But look, that's what we want. It has a lovely arching growth to it as well. So again, quite elegant. Works well, I think, mixed in with acers. It's a shade lover, so it's another one that you could put in a shady spot in your garden. It'll work perfectly in the same place that you would plant acers. And I think because of the foliage, it would work gorgeously in that spot as well.
I think there's some drama.
Definite drama.
Some drama, and also something, even when it's not flowering, it has that drama just because the foliage is not something you would normally see.
Well, it's gorgeous contrast as well, isn't it, with the other... We don't get that many dark foliage plants. We get shades of green, and that's wonderful, and lots of shades of green, but mixing that in gives you that gorgeous contrast with the other plants in your garden. Yeah. It's lovely the way it grows as well. I adore it. It can go into pots, by the way, as well. You could grow it in a pot if you want to. If you were to put it into borders, I mean, eventually, and it takes a bit of time, but we are talking 3-4 feet height and spread here. If we're going to go into a pot, what sort of size pot do you think we're going to get this to grow into? April would be fine to start with. It'd take a few years, and that's the April pot, because it's light colour, will be the perfect combination. Be fine in there for a few years, and then if you want to grow it on, you absolutely can. OK, well, let's have a little look at this in actually Sean's mum's garden, so you can see it in the flesh.
So I'm actually in my mum's garden. This is what we call her little oriental garden. I mean, the rest is really traditional over there. But I want to show you one of the most striking plants. It's called Laura Petalum. It's really unusual. I absolutely love it. So it is evergreen, and the foliage is the most incredible intense burgundy. That is so beautiful. But in springtime, this flowers. And the flowers it gets are almost like little clusters of crimson ribbons that are like fireworks. I love the fact that it's very slow growing, so it's not going to be invasive. It's got a lovely tranquility, and I think it works really well with things like acers, cordylines. I've got the Charlie Boy there. Also looks great next to water features, budders, that kind of look. But it is a beautiful, beautiful plant. And I adore the way it naturally grows. So it kind of meanders. It just gently kind of trails over the edge of pots and things like that. It's quite low growing, but that colour foliage and the shape of the leaves is just spectacular. So if you order yours now, get it established for springtime, and you wait in kind of March, April, you get the most amazing flowers as well. It's known as Laura Petalum.
Did you see what Sean did there as well, or what was done there? Light stones, light pot.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Really sets it off. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful, like I said, there's a real kind of character, there's a real theatre about it. It's beautiful. Sean always talks about the one in his garden, and whenever anybody comes around to us, because he's got this as well, that was his mum's garden, but he's got it as well, and he said whenever anybody comes around and looks at the garden, that's the one that they seem to be drawn to, that they ask about, that they don't know about. It's because it's different, and it's because it... I think it is because I always think that people are drawn to things that they would like to either see or have in their own, but don't feel like they can. Yeah. Something that when you look at clothes and things like that, you quite often go, oh, I really like that. You'll ask someone else's opinion, like, I'm not sure, and you go, oh, I won't do it anymore. But we're always drawn to that thing that we go, ooh, I want that one. So if you do want to go for that one, £13.49 is the Black Pearl 510604. But come with over to our kind of well, Bex's favourites for sure.
Well, we do call this the favourites table.
Our gardenia's been absolutely flying out, and I understand why. The fragrance. Go on, hang on. Just before we start, just so she can be happy.
My little fix. Oh,
she's a gardenia addict. If you don't do this regularly, she gets very cranky.
And look, there's a new flower coming there as well.
I wonder if we can tell the difference between the two.
There's more fragrance as it opens up, so I can get a little bit of fragrance coming from that one. There's a little bit there, but it's more coming from the one that's fully open. Oh, of course that's going to invite pollinators in as well, isn't it? That fragrance.
I'd say you've got a slightly. That's ever so slightly sweeter.
Do you reckon?
Mm.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Ever so slightly, just as it's changing.
So good.
But it is a fragrance, and like I was saying before, I like fragrances and talking about because I do this with candles and wax melts and things. But with this, I like it that you get that kind of hit of fragrance when you start to smell. It lingers and stays there within the nostrils, but then it doesn't hold for a hugely long period of time. But then you have a very subtle kind of lingering of it. But that subtle lingering makes you go, "What's that white? Am I?" And it draws you back to smell into the plants again. So I like how it's continuously drawing you back into the plant. And there is such a beautiful contrast, like the shine that you get off the foliage is spectacular. I mean, I love nature. I think it's
the foliage is evergreen as well, which is why another reason why I want to go for this, because like we've got deciduous plants in our garden, and deciduous plants have a place. You know that you shouldn't go for something just because it's going to drop its leaves. Actually, if you're planting in front of a window, it's great to have a deciduous plant because then in wintertime it allows light in, whereas in summertime it stops the sun coming in. So there's a really good place for deciduous plants. But we do want to mix in a decent amount of evergreen in our garden so that, you know, our garden doesn't look bare and miserable over the winter months. Gardenias have this gorgeous glossy evergreen colour and leaves to them, but then in the summertime, June, July, August, into September, I mean, these are flowering now and we're in October. You never know, it depends if it's a nice mild one. You might get flowers into October as well. You're going to get all of these beautiful flowers, and they are so gorgeous. This, excuse me, beautiful pure white colour across 3 different varieties that you've got in there: the Climbs Hardy, the Crown Jewel, and the Pinwheel. And that fragrance, that is just to die for. I adore it. Yeah, 16, 17 if you're in the club. 3 9-centimetre pots you're going to get on those hardy gardenia collection. Hardy, that's the important thing. Gardenias used to be not hardy. These are hardy. Have they got our winter hardy stamps too? I'm pretty sure it does. So I think on the product page it should have the winter hardy symbol. Just like trap them into a greenhouse and bully them for a while. You will take the winter. It's all to do with clever breeding. Yeah, so it's got the winter hardy badge, which means they're covered by our lifetime guarantee as well. I imagine Peter just walking in there, just shouting at them every once in a while. You will be hardy. Toughen up! Come on! What's wrong with you? And then periodically they've just gone, oh, okay. All right, I'll do it. This is what happens when I'm allowed back, you see. Beautiful plants, wonderful perfume. And you said that these are quite happy, we can pot these up nicely and easily. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do. As long as there's some left at the end of the show, I will be placing an order for these. I'll be getting my infinity planters. I'll be using 3 of those, and the black infinity planters with that gorgeous foliage and the white flowers. You say you'll be getting those. Oh, I'm not going to get the infinity planters. I'll find some other pots, it's fine. It's fine, I've got loads of pots. I will be planting them into pots because I want to be able to move those plants around my garden. I want them where I'm going to get the most out of that fragrance. I'm not going to put in the borders. I'm going to bring them to me. I don't know about you. I still use my garden in the winter, so I will quite happily sit there, coat and a bobble hat on, with a cup of coffee in my garden and just enjoy my garden. I will quite happily do that. Yeah, I will as well. I really love it. Love going out there on those days. I think it's a beautiful thing. So having something like that as well, a bit of perfume and stuff would be absolutely fantastic. Julia's asking, can she put the gardenia in a border? Yes, the answer is you absolutely can. They like to be in a sort of, sunny-ish spot, I would suggest, but I think they can cope with a slightly part shade position. They're not going to get massive, so we're only talking ultimate height, probably a couple of feet. So if you are going into a border, depending on the size of your border, it's more towards the front of the border that you're going to put them. But yeah, I think ultimate height is about 60 centimetres, and they'll spread by about that much as well. I've been talking about being perfect pot plants because they're nice and compact. But yeah, if you want to put them into a border, absolutely, you can go for it. Beautiful. Okay, moving on, rhododendrons. Yeah. Okay, so rhododendrons do require an ericaceous compost, so it is quite important to grab hold of these. And actually, I should have said that for the gardenias as well. They do preferably like ericaceous, so put them in there, otherwise you're not going to get all those gorgeous flowers.
Well, luckily, look, 60 litres for £10.79. There you go. Done. Problem solved for you. 100,042 is your item number. So if you are going to buy either of your gardenias, the rhododendrons, we've got a few,
Camellia.
Patty's plum, the hardy Japanese ones, they're all going to want to be in the ericaceous, correct?
No, not Patty's plum.
Oh, not Patty's plum.
She likes, so gardenias, rhododendrons, camellias, and we've got some blueberries as well. They all want to be in the ericaceous.
They all want to be in the ericaceous, okay.
And a lot of people I know have been placing an order for ericaceous compost just on its own and putting in the code, because you get your saving and you get your free peony.
Yes,
but
of course.
the ericaceous compost has no postage attached to it.
Oh, you've got to love it.
So you can do that as a separate order, which means you're going to get multiples of your free gift. It might be that you want that ericaceous compost in your main order because it helps to tip you over the £40 to get your free postage. You've got to work out which works best for you. Is it multiples of free gift, or is it free postage? And that's different for everybody. So just play around with your basket.
Have a little look around, but I forget those free peonies that come included as well. How fab is that?
I know.
That's everyone's favourite word, free.
Free.
Free, just have it. Take it. Yes. Okay, so back to our rhododendrons. So 510804 is your item number if you do want to go for these ones. There's 3 different ones that we've got. We're having the red, the pinks, the whites that we've got in here.
Yeah, the blouse white, geisha red, geisha pink included in this particular collection. I mean, look at that. That's the kind of colour. I remember seeing rhododendrons for the first time years and years ago. I remember looking at rhododendrons in the height of their colour when it was, April, May time, and just being blown away by how stunningly beautiful, how shiny the petals are, how they completely cover the evergreen foliage as well. It is one of the most stunning shrubs in your garden for springtime colour. They thrive in a part shade position as well, so don't put them in the sunniest spot.
Right.
I think it's morning sun. They don't particularly like the morning sun, because if you think it's got like a bit of dew or a little bit of frost on the leaves in the morning, and then it gets morning sun, it can, on the petals, I mean, it can really affect the petals. So I think if you can try and keep them out of morning sun, that tends to help. But just a dappled shade position is really, really good for rhododendrons. But evergreen, slow growing, nice and easy to look after, and just loving that ericaceous compost.
Beautiful. And, less than £9. That's less than £3 a plant.
Yeah.
That's fantastic
That's
value.
amazing. Look at the size of that as well.
Less than £3 a plant.
That is in a 9cm pot, really nicely established. You'll have it in your garden for years as well. They're
I got you. I got you.
They are really long-lived, so you'll have them in your garden for many, many years. Thank you, Tim.
It's magic. But honestly, if you go down to a garden centre today, you have a look, and you will be in for a surprise. I was there the other weekend. Went around the garden centres. We were actually doing a bit of research on something else, but having a look across, and some of the cost of some of the plants I had was just eye-wateringly big. It was huge, and the thing is, you like that when you're going, it's lovely, I really would like that plant, but you go, it's just too much.
A lot of money.
It's just a lot of money. And you think, well, I want 5 different things, but at these prices I can only afford one. What I love with YouGarden is YouGarden's really trying their best to go, how can we get you all the things that you want to have? And, it might not be at the perfect, because it's not free, that's my favourite word, but at less than £3 a plant, that is fantastic value for money. Speaking of, we have got so many other things for you as well, so depending upon what you're looking for in your garden, if you've got a little pocket of space, if something isn't quite working, you want to change something up, where are we going on to?
Anemones.
So we're going on to our anemones. Now, I like the kind of the growing kind of shape and style of these. I think they're quite nice. I think they're quite pretty. I like the fact that you've got 3 different colours to it.
Yeah, you've still got the red, the white, the pink included in here. You've got that gorgeous bright yellow contrasting centre. They're traditional and they're late flowering, which is what I really like about these. So they'll start in late summer, so around August time, but they keep going into September and October. So another great transitional flower, taking us from summer through to autumn as well. They multiply and they establish. They get bigger and better in in years to come. Try not to move them. They don't particularly like that. They might sulk a little bit, but if you have to, you have to. It's not a problem. They just do sulk a little bit for you. Put them in a sunny position. They can cope with a part shady position. Are you saying these like ericaceous as well, Stu? Can you double check that for me? Because I'm not convinced they do. Oh, it might be. I might be wrong. I'm not right about everything, even though you just said I was. I might not be right.
Listen, I've chucked my blueberries in some non-ericaceous compost and they have survived. I'm not going to say they've thrived, because they haven't, but they've survived.
Anemones. Now, let's just double check that one, shall we? But yeah, lovely, gorgeous, late flowering perennial plant, going to last for so many years in your garden. You can use them as cut flowers as well if you want to. They are winter hardy. I'd probably mulch them just to be on the safe side. So bark mulch, strulch, use either of those.
I love flowers that you can have cut flowers off.
Yeah, me too.
I really love that when you can use that in your garden. Like I did that with my roses this year, and admittedly there was a point when lots of the roses had all come and I was like, right, well they're going to start to look a bit funny, so I was cutting them all off, and then some of them I could only cut them very, very short, so I couldn't use them, and I would just sit it, and my wife was like, well, that's not going to do it. I was like, it'll look pretty for a day. I was like, it's got to come off, I was like, it's going to come in and look pretty for a day then, isn't it? Yeah. I was like, I'm not wasting them, and I had roses everywhere around the house. Some I had long enough stems that I could do. It was beautiful, but I love being able to get cut flowers off what you grow yourself. I think it's really, really special when you can bring them into your home.
Stu's had a little look, and basically we're saying they're not fussy. So they just like well drained. I didn't think they were a must-go in ericaceous, but if anyone else knows, if anyone else wants to chip in here, let me know. But I thought they were fine in most soils, so I think they're all right.
So don't forget you can get involved, because you're watching us here on YouTube. You can comment down and we can check out that. Stu's checking on the Facebook page. You can email us, you can send us your pictures, but we have only got just under an hour to go while we are here. Now, we will be popping up on TikTok a little bit later on as well, so if you've got TikTok, come and join us on that.
It's a bit different, the format. It's a bit more
If you're not on
free
TikTok,
and easy,
it's probably a bit more crazy, but if you're not on TikTok, there's other deals and specials on there. So just sign up and join in. It's literally your email, it's free, you don't have to do anything, but come and check it out. But less than an hour to go if you're watching us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us and for letting me be part of your potting shed family today. I love it when I get invited back here. It's great. But we're going to move into the Christmas time. I said it. I said the word. I love it. I love Christmas. Yuletide.
Yuletide, yeah, and that's because this is going to flower for you very, very soon, and this is very typical of what you're going to receive. If you get in close and you have a little look, there are so many buds. There's some big, fat buds about to open. There's smaller buds that I can see coming all the way up these stems. I mean, if I start counting, I'm probably going to get to 20 or 30 buds just on that plant right there. This is going to be a beautiful, glossy, evergreen foliage, bright, festive red-green colour flowers coming out very soon. Normal flowering time is between November and January, and Yuletide, obviously, because it's flowering typically over Christmas time. This one does like ericaceous compost. So if you want to grow this in a pot, and if you can get 2 of these, get the paired, go for it. Go on. If you can stretch to it, get 2 of these, get the April planters, put them either side of your front door, and that will be the most gorgeous festive welcome to any of your guests over Christmas. That would be absolutely beautiful. Fully winter hardy, covered by our lifetime guarantee. If you want to plant it into a border, you can. It will over time get to about 3 metres height and about 2 metres spread as well.
Excuse me, Bex, question.
What?
Question for you. Question. How much sun do they require?
I'd put them in a sunny position, yes. I wouldn't put them in a shady spot, but obviously this is flowering over winter, so they need just, normal daylight hours during winter. Yeah, you can't get it. It's not going to work.
Well, no, because I just thought, because you said front of the house, one either side, and I was like, yes, that'd be amazing, because I've just used the same patio slabs out the front, but it's a north-facing front. No sun.
I probably wouldn't. I mean, look, it's a winter flowering plant, so it can obviously cope with lower light levels.
Do you know what? It's fine. I'm going to stick them out the back door, and I'm going to put a sign on the front door saying, come round the back.
Yeah. Or keep them outside the back, and then just over the Christmas period, put them out the front there. When you've got visitors coming, you can move them around the front, especially if they're in these pots as well, because they're light and easy to move.
All right, I'll take that for $1. I like it. Thanks very much.
All right, there you go.
There we go. Here's the planters for you.
So yeah, that's the Camellia Yuletide. It'll be planted in your April planter. I think it's elegant. I love the tapered shape of it. You've got the lighter colour here that's going to contrast beautifully with the green foliage and those beautiful bright red flowers. I adore them. 20 litre capacity. This Camellia will live in here for years. It'll be absolutely fine in here. It is a pear, by the way, at £14.99.
Coming back.
We are saving nearly £20 on this particular deal right now. It's 130573 if you'd like to go for it. YouGarden.com is where you place your orders, and you will get a pair of these. So two of those. That's going to be so pretty. And of course, you will be entering the code YGTV4124.
Yes.
Which means that you'll get all the savings, but you're also going to get that free gift. You can just see it down there, look. Giant Peony, Sarah Bernhardt. That will be entered into your basket absolutely free of charge as well. What do we... Oh, £9.99. I was just about to say, what do we normally charge for that? But it says it. £9.99 worth of free gift today, simply by entering in where it says on the website when you're placing your order, do you have an offer code? Yes, put that in, YGTV4124. Free gift worth a tenner.
So what
you trying to find it?
Well, no, what I was doing is I was really quickly racing, because I remember when last time I was here, I said, oh, I'm making a big change to the garden.
Oh.
And that's now what I've actually done and turned it into.
Can you mirror?
Yeah.
Go down.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
Oh, no, hold on.
No, like that. Where's your mirroring bit?
Well, it's a brand new phone.
Oh.
Bear with, caller, bear with.
It normally comes up.
Yeah, I know.
It's not there, is it? Oh, what a shame.
I'll find it.
Email it to ygtv@yougarden.com, and then I can bring it up on screen and I can show it to everybody.
I'm on it.
Do it now. Do it now, Tim. What do you want to talk about as well, Stu, while we're here? Photinia, the little red robin. Yeah, this is a great one. I love Photinia. I've got one of the big tall Photinias in my garden. Just trimmed it the other day, in actual fact. It's so big I have to get right up at the top of the ladders. This is the difference that we're talking about with the little red robin, though, because this is not going to get 4 metres high. I'm not going to have to get to the top of a set of ladders in order to trim this one. This one should only ever get to about 1.5 metres in height.
Right.
So that's just a little bit shorter than me. They're really easy to look after, really easy to trim. If you buy multiples of these, this is great as hedging. You can then create a beautiful border or a hedge from this. The bright red colour you get from the new growth that comes through is incredible. Honestly, flame red, bright. It looks like the top of the bush is on fire, in actual fact, because it's so bright red. And that happens with the new growth that comes through. So it's probably in sort of February and March time. Yeah, about March time, I'd say, once it starts to warm up and it really starts growing. The bright red colour you get from that new growth is incredible. You get these lovely clusters of creamy white flowers on there as well, which smell delightful. I didn't realise how good they smelt, actually, and they really do. The flowers sort of tidy up after themselves. You don't notice them going away. But it's just a really nice, easy, winter hardy, shrub for you to put in your garden. Great as a border plant, great as a hedging plant. I'd put it in as sunny a spot as you can, though, so you get the best kind of colour from them.
Yeah, definitely. I love red robins. I think they're beautiful. I think they have a... I think they're very easy to do.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have to do anything, but they give a lot of character.
They absolutely do.
Like a slightly pinked one of these, the pink robin that we have as well. They're absolutely beautiful. 500134 is your item number. £8.99 if you do want to go for it in a 2-litre pot. But let's have a little look at Sean while he gives you a talk around.
One of my favourite plants in my garden are my Photinias, particularly my red ones, and they're known as red robin, but sometimes Photinia red robin can be several metres high. You can even do hedges in it, can't you? This particular variety is a lot more compact. It's called Photinia Little Red Robin, and the reason being this will only ever grow to around about 60 to 80 centimetres. So you've got maybe a smaller garden. If you want to maybe grow the Photinia Little Red Robin in pots, you can certainly do that. But what you'll still get is all that incredible coloured foliage. And right now on the nursery, there's so much new growth on the petunias. You have just got this carpet of red and then the older leaves, that lovely green, and the contrast is simply breathtaking. And what I love about petunia, it looks good all year round, it's evergreen, it is fully winter hardy. You do get the little flowers as well, the little white flowers, but this is predominantly grown for its exquisite foliage. And the great news is there's now this smaller, compact variety called Petunia Little Red Robin.
Don't you just sometimes look at that and think, oh, I wish my garden was that big and I could have just like a blanket of them, just like that, because it looks spectacular, doesn't it, when you get to see what it's growing like in the nurseries. So if you do want to go for our Little Red Robin, £8.99. £9.99 if you're not in the club, get in the club. Why would you not want to be in the club? And we have had brand new customers, thank you so much for joining us, signing up today and joining the club. There are so many things that we've got to go through, and we've got some more to show for you as well, so brand new bargains as well that you might not have seen. So let's just have a little look at everything that's under £10, okay? So this is our Californian lilac version of the Ceanothus. This is £8.99, 510886. Look at the colour that you're getting off that. That is absolutely spectacular. I was saying about blues earlier on and not seeing too much of it. I think it's lovely. It's such a vibrancy colour. Something you don't normally see as much in nature as well, so I think it really stands out to you. If you wanted to be able to go for these, £9.99 if you are not in the club. It's a 2-litre pot. We're going to look at our Agapanthus next. There we go, here we go, there's the Agapanthus one. This is £9.99 or £8.99 if you are in the club. This is in a 3-litre pot for you as well. Yeah, this is the one that we've been told that you've got to be a little bit nasty with this one, so don't worry about putting it in our professional compost or anything like that. Just get it into the soil. Let it kind of do, it likes to work hard, this one. It likes to have to find its way a little bit, so don't be too delicate or too caring with it. Make sure you, but look, I mean, look at how tall and strong those stems are with those kind of beautiful firework almost displays, the flowers jetting and shooting out, but that blanket of colour that you can really see. 560321 is your item number if you want to go for your Agapanthus, the Africanus Blue, that one. Change from blue to red, how about cranberry? And these are actual cranberries, so you could be growing these. You won't get probably cranberry fruits off them this year, but next year, how about making your own, I don't know, like cranberry preserve sauces, or anything like that? Absolutely fantastic to be able to grow them, and there's something quite nice about growing your own fruits. And mix it into your garden as well. £8.99 if you wanted to go for one of these, but they're on a double up deal. So if you wanted to go for 2, you can have 2 for £14.99. I know, crazy pricing, right? This is 310047 is your item number if you want to go for our Cranberry Pilgrim. Put 2 in your basket and that will give you it. Make sure you put your code in though, YGTV4124. That will give you all of these special deals that are coming up. We just had a look at these earlier on. This is our Japanese Azalea. We've got 3 different colours for you. We've got the geisha red, geisha white, and the
blouse white.
Blouse white. Blouse white, geisha red, geisha pink. I was trying. But was I?
Blouse pink, geisha red, geisha
so
white.
I was right.
You were right.
Do you need another coffee?
I think I do.
Needs another coffee. 510804 is your item number for your rhododendrons. Pink. Let's just do this. Pink, white and red. Whichever ones you wanted to go for. £8.97. These are saving 3 9cm pots, a saving of £20 on this. The anemones that we've got for you, they're the same colours as you've got, the red, the white, the pink, £8.97 or £9.97 if you're not in the club. 3 9cm pots, £20 saving, 480128 is your item number. Amazing collection that we've got for you. We have got some spectacular deals and offers for you. She's here, she's back. Yeah, what were you running for? Just because you want to be in the gym, not been in the gym today. She's there going, gotta run, gotta run. Quick, move!
I could have just strolled in, couldn't I? Like, hi.
Nonchalantly.
I'm here.
Hi, I'm here.
Do it again.
Sup?
Sup?
I think I prefer the run.
Think of what?
I preferred the run.
Yeah.
I'm late. Thank you so much. Oh, we'll go over here.
Let's do that.
Moving over. So we're talking about, not that one.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
I'll tell you what that was.
Get that out of the way.
Bark mulch. Now, well, we say this is ornamental.
Yeah.
But it actually has some purpose.
Oh, no, it's function. Definite function as well. I mean, ornamental, look, it looks absolutely beautiful. So it really does, it looks so much better than bare earth, basically.
Yes, for sure.
It adds that extra level of sort of interest and stuff there. I mean, you could use this in so many different places. Sean's used this here. This is his pub garden. So one of these raised planters, look, it looks just super neat and tidy there. But also you could use this if you've got children's play areas and stuff like that. Great thing to put down in those pathways, you know, you could have a pathway of this running through. It also has the benefit of giving your plants a bit of duvet. Sounds weird, doesn't it? But like, it's a mulch, basically, keeps them cosy over winter. When we get frost, it only ever normally affects, depending on, unless you're really far up north and you get loads and loads of frost, it only actually really affects the top couple of inches of the ground, you know, it doesn't freeze all the way down. So putting this down means that the frost gets on this, not in the soil, which means it protects the roots of those plants that need that extra bit of winter protection. It works as a weed suppressant as well. So I know we don't have to worry too much about weeds over the winter, but certainly once we're getting to spring and summertime, those weeds just start popping up all over the place.
Crazy.
So if you've done your weeding and then you put this down, it's really going to reduce the amount of weeds that come through. It's not going to get rid of them completely, but it will massively reduce that
Everything
down.
helps, and I agree. I think it looks so much nicer.
Pretty.
It gives a little touch of class to your garden and things as well. And look, £13.49 for a 70-litre bag. That's good value.
Covers
so I'd be adding a couple of. What did we say? It was about 3 metres squared, did we say?
3 metres squared, yeah. And it is half price at the moment, and it's postage included. So this is, again, most of our bagged products tend to come with postage included. So it's another good one of getting multiples of your free gift, your Sarah Bernhardt Peony, or it's one that you use in order to tip your basket over that £40 so that you get your free postage. You have to do what works out for you, depending on how much you're planning on spending today.
Yes, gotcha. I gotcha. Go for it. Get it in.
Go for it.
Add it in. Get it in. OK. Now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Apparently it's the highest viewers of the show so far, so hello, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining us. We've got around 40 minutes left to go. I did email that picture of my garden through to Stu. I did send it through because last time I was here, I'm Tim, by the way, maybe you've not seen me. I've only been here in the potting shed a couple of times, but last time I was here, I was redoing because I'd had an issue in my garden with crane flies.
Yeah.
They'd basically destroyed my lawn. So I went, enough is enough, after I'd replaced the lawn, and I ripped the whole thing up and turned it into this. This is what I've done with my garden.
Look at that garden!
So
neat.
So it's a south-facing garden that we've got now. So that was one of my new roses that I bought. Which did very well, little clusters. And then you can see right down in the bottom corner is my huge, great big...
this one. Fatsia.
My ferns that are coming in. I've got some other bits, and we have got this. I forget what the name is. It has grown up huge in the corner and is still flowering and stuff now. And
that purple coloured flower, is that an aster or is that a what's that?
That's an
Looks like an aster.
That's one of my other roses.
Other roses. You've got a climbing rose going up on the side there.
That was going crazy, which has now actually been cut back a bit lower. Because look how tall it was going up my garage.
Big.
So we've cut that back to try and fit it out a little bit more.
Bowls mauve. And you've got the jasmine. That jasmine is going crazy.
And that jasmine now, by the way, is now being sculpted to climb up and across, and then it's going to spread across the top. So it's doing fantastic.
Let's show the other picture of your garden, because you sent us another one as well.
Well, that's just a little bit more of a close-up of, there you go.
Oh, yeah, it is an aster.
Yeah, so down the...
Oh, no, it's not an aster. That's a geranium of some kind.
So down the sides, and yeah, there's a few other bits. There's a few changes that have gone in there. That's one of my little blues that I moved. My blue herons that I moved over because it was
lovely. You've got a very neat garden. I like it.
I have now. I laid all of that patio myself, all of those slabs myself.
Well done. If you want to send us any pictures, you can.
Yes, please do. Send your pictures through. There's the email address at the bottom, ygtv@yougarden.com. yougarden.com. Send your pictures through, because it'd be lovely to see your gardens, because it also, you may think, oh, I see my garden, but it may provide inspiration for someone else. It may make someone else think about something they could do differently in their garden. And that's what this little community is all about. It's not a little one. It's quite a massive community now. It's what this massive community is all about at YouGarden. It's about sharing, yes, amazing products, prices, but also it's about sharing your gardens, giving inspiration to other people and helping other people further their knowledge by sharing your tips and tricks. Like we were saying, if you've got any ideas about the irrigaceous compost, is it required, is it not required? Let people know about what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Have we had any more chatter?
Yeah, just a little bit. So Neil, because remember we've moved those now, but we've got the 3 for 2 mix and match offer on the spring bulbs.
Yes, lots
so
of them.
Neil chipped in here. He says his mix has got to be the Alliums, the white muscari, and the tete-a-tete bulb mix.
Nice.
Love it, and the fact that we've got a mix and match. I think this is 7 different varieties of bulbs that you can go for, and it's a 3 for 2. So whichever 3 you want, pick your 3. 1 bag will be free. And yeah, he's going for the Alliums, the muscari, and the tete-a-tete. Those would be the perfect mix, but it's up to you which combo you go for. So obviously Julie was asking about the gardenias and things as well. So lovely to see loads of you in the chat. That's
lovely,
on YouTube.
thank you.
Stu's monitoring the Facebook chat, so if anybody's in there and wants to chip in or say anything. Claire's apparently on
nice.
there, and she's going to watch us on TikTok later on. Oh, and Amanda's been doing some lasagna planting with her bulbs as well. We will be on TikTok after this show.
Sorry, what?
So
you said lasagna, my ears pricked up.
Oh. Planting.
I was like, lasagna?
No, lasagna planting with bulbs.
Lasagna planting?
Layering your bulbs. So this is the way to get months of colour out of one pot. So if you were to put, let's go, classic combination here.
Go for it.
Tulips,
daffodils,
muscari, crocus.
Right.
And I'm going to go in that order. You put your largest and latest flowering bulbs towards the bottom of the pot. So tulips down there. Yeah, here you go. Here's a great one. Here, look. So you go largest and longest flowering towards the bottom of the pot, and then you put some compost on, then you put your next one in. So if I'm going tulips, then I'm going to put a bit of compost on. Then I'm going to go daffodils, put a bit of compost on. Then I'm going to go my muscari, put a bit of compost on, and then I'm going to put crocus. Crocus are going to flower in February. Daffodils and the muscari are going to flower March and April. And then the tulip's going to pop up April and into May. So you're getting...
Stu, I was going to take a picture of it.
So we're going to get 3 months worth of flowering out of one pot. It's a really clever way of doing it.
I like it,
Love it.
Now, I know that people will be there going, really? Come on, we all know that, but...
Not everybody knows these things.
Everybody knows things.
Nothing's a stupid question. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't.
Quite right. You should be a teacher.
Fly trap, that's what we were doing. I should not be a teacher. I would be an awful teacher.
You ever want to just stick your finger in them?
No, don't do it. Right, I'm going to do it with one.
I want to do...
No, we'll do it. Well, I'll let you do it. This is the Jumbo Venus fly trap. Okay, so jumbo meaning big. Like I need to tell you what the word jumbo means. What does jumbo mean? Right, no, it means large. So we are getting 3... There's actually 3 plants planted in that one pot, first of all. That's why it's jumbo. But also each of the traps is going to get to a really big size, about 1 inch in diameter. Let's go with that one right there, Stu. You got that one there? Right. Let's try it. I want you to poke in there 2 or 3 times with that stick.
Poke in there? Ooh.
Go on, just gently. Go on.
Oh!
That was quick as well. That shut so quick. Right, pull it out. There you go. Right, so that is what that plant is going to do when a flying insect lands on it. Oh. We are going to say you can do that once when you get it home, OK? Because we all want to do it. Of course we do. It's exciting. But only do it once, please. And the reason being is I don't want you to kill your plant. That trap is now putting energy into it, trying to eat something that isn't there. So it's going to exert energy, but it's not going to get anything back.
I understand.
So it's going to... We don't want to kill the plant, essentially. So what it does is there's little scilla, there's little hairs inside each of those traps, and that's what needs to be touched and activated a couple of times, and then it will close.
Just like your throat.
Exactly that, yeah. So then it's going to eat whatever has landed in it. It secretes some kind of moisture which breaks it down, and then it gets its energy from whatever it eats. The trap itself, they stay active 4 or 5 feeds, let's say. They don't last forever. They start to fade. In fact, there was a black one. Can you see there's a sort of black trap down there?
And then, so I suppose...
in fact, this one here is starting to go black.
Oh, yeah, and this one must be new.
No, that one's an old one. That one's starting to go black.
No, this one.
Oh, that one there. Yeah, that's a probably new one coming through.
Because you can see that it hasn't got all like it's like sort of
little spiky bits. Yeah.
And then like this one's like a slightly older one that's just developing its baby spiky bits.
Exactly.
Oh, look at these tiny little ones down there. Oh, they're adorable.
So the trap sort of
dies. That one's eating a spider.
The traps sort of die off
so adorable.
after they've been used a few times, but then it replaces it with new traps coming through. It turns this pinky red colour as well during the summer months, and that colour also attracts the insects and things.
Tiny baby one.
Yeah, little baby one. Oh, and let me show you. So they all come with this hologram as well. If you look in, look, snap, snap. Snappy snap, 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 snap. Which is great if you're giving this as a gift, or maybe there's kids in the family. They're going to find this so unusual and so weird and wonderful. Really easy to look after as well. So mine lives on the kitchen windowsill, southwest facing, bright sunny spot. Always keep it, or certainly over the summertime, put it in a dish or get a pot cover.
Yeah.
Keep that topped up with water, rainwater, not tap water. If you have to use tap water, which I sometimes do, leave it to stand for 24 hours. Some of the chemicals evaporate.
Oh, right, okay.
This will not like the chemicals in our tap water, so if you can, try and save your rainwater for this.
That's a good top tip. So, you were saying this, right, so this might not be necessarily one of the things you think, oh, I want one of those, but however, like my lounge in the summer,
flies.
For some reason, flies love it.
Yeah.
But I love having the patio doors open. Functional and purpose. It looks great.
It's such fun, honestly. And as I say, really quite easy to look after. Sunny spot, keep it with water in the dish. In the winter time, allow the dish to dry out before topping it back up with water. So it just needs a little bit less, but you need to keep it watered over the winter as well. It won't eat as much over the winter because it's going dormant, so don't worry too much about it. And then, it'll just feed itself over the summer months. It's brilliant. Love it. It's one of my faves. And the stock that we've got of this, I think, is going to be the last batch of stock, by the way. I don't think we're going to be restocking it for a little while. We need to make space for new houseplants coming in.
Okay, so 10.79 if you want to go for that in the club. 800 155 is your item number for the Jumbo Venus fly trap. Grab one of those. Functional and purpose, beautiful. You're going to want to go for it. Now, okay, so the infinity pot. So this is a bar one. I say you bar one, you get one free. No. It's not buy one, get one free. It's buy one, you get two free. No, it's not buy one, get two free. It's buy one, get 3 free. 4 planters.
There's only about 2 orders of this remaining now. Surprised it's lasted this long. So the last couple of people that wants these, they are going to get hold of these, but then they are going to sell out. They will not be back. So add 1 into your basket, put the code YGTV4124. The other 3 will appear. The next offer that we've got for you, though, is on the wicker basket. So slightly bigger, 12-inch diameter here, and it's a buy 1, get 2 free. It's got the wicker pattern on the side there, the black and white, that monochromatic look is quite beautiful, isn't it? Still got the lip around the edge for you to be able to pick that up and move it. Plastic, but UV stabilised, frost resistant, so designed to last you for many, many years.
They're really sturdy.
Really sturdy. And the thing with cheap plastic pots is that they get affected by sun. So heat, sun, and then cold in the winter, it makes them brittle and they crack and they break. But these are UV stabilised and frost resistant, so they are designed to last you for many years.
And like Stu was just saying, under here, there's thin little ridges.
There is.
Nothing worse, because when I do it, I'm picking stuff up. There's nothing worse than going to pick up a pot.
Cracks off.
So it just cracks off and breaks. Frustrating
There
beyond
are those
belief.
little ridges underneath, so that extra stabilisation underneath those rims to help keep the shape and stop it from doing that.
Beautiful.
Drainage holes, channels for the drainage to run away from. It's really good. Fill your garden with plastic pots, that's what I say.
7.19 if you want to go for it. 130227 is your item number. Now we have got about 29 minutes left of our show this morning, so start to be quick with your orders now. Start to check things out because I don't want you to miss out on items if you want to go for them.
This is where it starts to get quite busy actually because everybody watches for ages and then they start checking out. This is the pair of April square planters. So you've got that lovely square shape there, really quite high end, really quite gorgeous. It's a 20 litre capacity, so you know roughly how much compost you're going to need. It's a 36 centimetre diameter. It's got that beautiful abstract dahlia, we think it's a dahlia design on the edge there, quite tactile because that...
I can't stop touching it. I think they're great.
It's beautiful. Really nice colour, particularly if you're thinking about same. We were on the same page then.
Look at it.
If you want to go with the Loropetalum, the black pearl, that gorgeous dark colour foliage against the light colour of the April planter is gorgeous. The size of this means it's going to work for a variety of things. If it's shrubs, if it's the Photinia, could be any of the Nandinas. You could be putting the Agapanthus in there. It could be the Camellia, it could be our Gardenias, the Ceanothus. There's so many things that we've got on this show today that would work perfectly in here and would be there, be its home for many years. But you could put some of our garden readies that we've got coming up next. You know, the pansy, thank you, pansy cool waves. They will tumble and trail over the edges of here. The bulbs that we were talking about, you know, tulips coming out the top here, the muscari, the daffodils, lasagna planting. These are going to work perfectly. So this I think is a really good size for the majority of things you want to plant in there.
I agree. Thing absolutely fantastic. £13.49 because these are 20 litre capacity, 36 centimetre diameters on these if you wanted to go for them. So 130573 is your item number. Now we're going buy one. I say you buy one, you get one free. Pansy cool wave. Just having a look.
Now it is a mix and match deal that we've got here as well. So it's a buy one, get one absolutely free. They come in trays of 10, so that's your tray of 10. If you want to buy one, get one free on the Pansy Cool Wave, put 2 in your basket, use the code, and then you'll get one of them that will pop up as being free.
Gotcha.
As well as your Sarah Bernhardt free gift as well,
Free
the
gift.
Peony. Now with garden ready, it means ready to go in your garden. I should be a teacher, right? Teacher, there you go. All my kids are going to pass because that's great teaching. Right, so when we say garden ready, we really do mean
she's packed.
Ready. I mean, get that in your garden. Get that growing right now. Pansy Cool Waves are one of the best when it comes to autumn and winter colour because these, as you can see, look, they're starting to flower now, and these can flower for up to 10 months of the year.
Wow.
Honestly, it's crazy.
I didn't know that.
They really can. So they only really give up during the hottest months of the year. So they're in flower now. Get them growing, get them planted. These will flower all the way over winter for you. So all you have to do is a little bit deadheading. I would feed still. I know we don't feed massive amounts during the winter, but I would still give them a feed and obviously make sure that the pots and hanging baskets don't dry out. We often think in winter, well, it's winter, I don't need to dry, you know, I don't need to keep watering because we get lots of water. But on a particularly windy day, it can dry pots and baskets out really quite easily, particularly if they're in hanging baskets, because they tend to be under the eaves of your house.
Yes.
And they don't get as much water. I've made that mistake multiple times in the past as well. So just make sure you're keeping on top of the watering and feeding, bit of deadheading, and that's going to keep flowering for you. Totally winter hardy, gentle tumbling, trailing, cascading. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous one. And the colour mix, the berries and cream, is mwah. Love it.
410-112 is your item number. $14.99 if you're not in the club, or $13.49 if you are in the club. So I love that you can get colour out of it throughout these kind of winter seasons and months coming. Let's move on. So we're going to move over to our
Aquilegia.
Aquilegia.
Yeah, Mrs. Scott Elliott, because as Stu says, every woman should be defined by her husband. He's joking. He doesn't mean it.
I'm not getting involved by
It's
that.
like the Sarah Bernhardt Peony, renowned for her beauty. Because yeah, she should be defined by her beauty, shouldn't she? Oh, here's the feminist in me coming out. All right, let's move on, shall we?
I think they were more trying to define the flower by their beauty.
And whatever.
And then they were just trying to utilise one of Sarah
Well, it's not
Bernhardt.
that she was an amazing actress. No, it's because she was really beautiful.
No, but the Peony isn't an amazing actress. The Peony is a beautiful item. So they're using one of her attributes.
All right, I'll go with it. I'll get off my soapbox, don't worry. This is the absolutely gorgeous Aquilegia. The Mrs. Scott Elliott mix here. Now, this is going to give, sort of bring woodland magic into your garden. It is one of the best sort of early flowering plants. These can be in flower from about May time. So they are very enchanting. I adore the shapes and the colours that you get from Aqualegia. Really nice and easy to grow as well. So you can use them as cut flowers too if you want to. They're winter hardy. They're garden ready now, so get them in your garden, get them nicely established, and then in May and June time, these are just going to be absolutely incredible. They do actually quite like a slightly shady position as well, so these work great in my borders. I've got a south-facing garden, but that means all the borders are really in quite a lot of shade. So these work great at adding those pops of colour into the shady bits of my garden. You get masses of these elegant pastels. They look like aliens to me. They look like alien flowers.
I was just kind of thinking, I was like, there's a lot going on with that bloom.
But they're quite reliable. I mean, they're perennial flowers and they're really reliable at coming back for you. They self-seed as well, so they can spread around your garden.
Okay.
They're mostly herbaceous. They don't completely die back down. They do still leave a little bit of foliage.
Okay.
And to be honest, I don't do anything with them. I mean, you can trim them back after flowering. If you keep on top of your deadheading, it'll encourage more blooms to come through. You can trim them back after flowering. I never do, to be perfectly honest with you. I leave them and they come back every year.
Yeah.
Just keep on top of the deadheading. That's something I've not been very good at. But if you do, you'll get more flowers.
I think that tends to be that's the kind of staple with anything, really, isn't it?
You've got to keep on top of your
deadheading, and then you'll get more flower. And I think that's the only reason why our garden's done the way it's done is because my wife hates deadheads. Like, she cannot stand seeing them. So she's there all the time. Normally she's out there, you'll see her out there with like an empty dog poo bag, and she's there with a tiny little hand, like mini little just filling the bag up and then emptying the bag out into the green bin and stuff. Honestly. Anyway, £13.49 if you do want to go for those ones.
Claire, bless her, she's on Facebook saying she's got these and that they're really easy to look after. Thanks for backing me up there, Claire, because they really are super easy.
Hey, New Gardens, and who was it that was emailing in saying about their son has just moved into their first home?
It was Grimmy.
Grimmy, this is the kind of thing, if it's their first home and you don't want to be getting the phone calls to come around every weekend to sort the garden out, things like this is what you want to be planting in for them.
Absolutely. Next one is some hollyhocks, and these are the Chater's mix. Oh, apparently this was the favourite on Thursday. I'm not surprised. Did you see all the hollyhocks around this year? They are incredible. It seemed to be a really good year for hollyhocks, which is quite surprising because they love sunny,
I know, I didn't think it was
dry.
a great year.
I don't know what it was, but hollyhocks just seem to be absolutely amazing. A cottage garden favourite.
Yes.
An instant classic. They have this beautiful towering presence. They add height. They add bright, beautiful colour. And of course, with this being the Chater mix, you're getting those gorgeous ruffled double blooms on here as well. It's super easy to look after. I mean, they don't even need the most nutrient-rich soil. They can grow, what is it Adam always says? They can grow in a washing line. They'll pop up in the cracks between pavements, and they are absolutely incredible.
So
I love them.
That probably means that they're probably one of the strongest, most hardiest growers, because like a dandelion, dandelions will grow through the cracks of pavements, and they'll split cracks through pavements because their root systems are so strong. They extract so much from the soil and from the earth. They are a real country garden staple, and there's one garden on the way out from where we live, going towards another one of the villages, and there's one country cottage garden, and there is like a wall of these coming over their actual cottage wall that's there, and the colours are spectacular.
I love
They've got all the different colour
One of my
varieties
favourites,
there. They are
genuinely.
beautiful. £13.49 again if you want to go for those. 410121 is your item number for your hollyhock.
And finally, it's the Erigeron, the Sea of Blossom. Now, again, these are still in flower now, and this is what I love about Erigeron, because you can get months worth of flowers out of these. Lovely, classic, daisy-like flowers. But you get the pinks and the whites included on here. They come out white and they go into these shades of pink that you get here. They give gorgeous ground cover, fantastic at filling gaps in borders as well. They love a sunny spot. They can cope in a slightly shady spot as well. I've planted mine next to my geranium Roseanne, and over the last year what they've done is mix into each other, and with the geraniums and the colour contrast, the size contrast, it works perfectly.
Nice.
It is honestly one of the best combinations of flowering that I've accidentally done in my garden.
Accidentally on purpose.
I'm going to stop saying it was an accident. I'm going to say I meant to do it because it works so very well. They're drought tolerant. You know, they're really easy. You can divide these. That is exactly it, Stu. I should have done a later video because this was really early on in the season before the geranium really started going. But you can see how they work so well together, just mingling in. It's a perfect combination. And you are going to get, I mean, we say 6 months of colour. I would say, yeah, they start in around April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I reckon it's more like 8 months worth of colour that you'll get from this.
Wow.
Honestly, constant. They come out white, they change pink. They're beautiful.
And don't forget, these are all buy one, get one free. So you're going to be picking one tray. If you want two of the same, then you're going to put 2 trays in. Make sure the code has gone. You've entered your code YGTV4124. And then you'll get one of these for free. It will come up in the discount sections that you've got there. But you could mix and match between them. Is that right?
Absolutely,
so you can mix
get the
and
ones
match
you want.
if you want to. It's completely up to you. Now, we're going to take a little quick dive back with Sean to have a look at it. I think it's in Sean's garden? In Sean's garden.
Well, this is where I've put Irriga on in my garden, because this whole board, I'll be honest, it's very rubbly. Haven't really worked out quite what to do with it, but I wanted ground cover. And there's only about 3 plants here. They've been here a couple of years and they just flower all summer long for 6-7 months of the year. And what I've done, I've actually extended. So now, because they did so well then, this is often a tip, if you see a plant doing well, then you might want to repeat it somewhere nearby or get a similar variety. So I've actually just planted a few more plants along here. And the great thing is they will just flower and flower all summer long. Each plant can get up to about 1 metre by metre. The flowers change colour, so sometimes they're white, sometimes they're dark pink, light pink. And at the end of the year, all I'll do is literally trim them back and we'll do it all again next year and the year after and the year after. It's known as Mexican flea bane. That's the popular name for it. And it's one of those plants that will tolerate a very poor soil, likes lots of sun and needs very little love and attention. It's just a brilliant ground cover plant that will flower all summer long and produce thousands of flowers. And they're like little daisies, which I love.
Oh, let me have a look at it, like a nice little nose round your gardens and Sean's garden and stuff.
Lovely.
It's great. It's really nice exploring and seeing what different people do with the collections that we have here and then seeing what maybe you're going to do with them as well. So, let's move on. So we're going to carry on moving on because we've still got things that we haven't spoken about yet. We haven't got very long. We've only got 15 minutes to go, so we're going to have to be quite quick. But we're going back to our Ceanothus, but this is our Thriciflorus.
Thriciflorus repens.
Thriciflorus.
Let's go with that. I see no this. It's Californian lilac. You know, it doesn't matter.
See, you could have just said Californian lilac.
Californian lilac.
That one.
Look, there's a few different varieties of Ceanothus you can get. I don't care which variety you go for. Just get a Californian lilac in your garden. Genuinely, you will not regret it. Now, supposedly with this one, what you're going to get is a slightly lower growing shrub. So Ceanothus can get to 3-4 metres height and spread. This one, if you plant it in a nice sunny spot, it shouldn't get as tall. It should stay just that little bit shorter, maybe 1.5 metres we're talking about. If it's not in a sunny spot, it'll probably get as tall as the other ones because it'll reach for the sun. But don't worry too much about that. The reason you're going to plant this in your garden is because you've got evergreen foliage on it and because it's going to delight you in April and May time. And for a good sort of 5-6 weeks, you get a plant that is thoroughly covered in these beautiful lilac blue flowers.
And they are beautiful.
They really are.
Like, it's a blanket. It's a real blanket and a wall of colour. I mean, 2 litre pot, $8.99, fantastic price. 510886 is your item number if you wanted to go for this one. But you were saying as well, if you bought a few of these, you could kind of put them together and you could almost create that kind of hedgeway, that wall, that lovely wall of colour. So however you want to use it, however it's going to fit to your garden, like you said, Beck said, just get it. Get one in your garden now or she will come round and tell you off.
You have to have one. And also, it's a massive pot. Look, it's a 2 litre pot and it's $9.99. That is absolutely incredible. We have done them in 9 centimetre pots for probably that price in the past.
Stu said he's just going to have a look and see if it's even on the website in a 9 centimetre pot and check what the price is.
Honestly, that is absolutely incredible. It has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. It's backed by our Winter Hardy guarantee. So if it dies, we'll replace it free of charge. All you have to do is cover any postage cost to get it out to you. The blooms in April and May are incredible, and you do get often I'm not going to guarantee it, but you do often get a second flush of flowers in around September and October. I mean, look, the 9 centimetre is what, $6.99 each? Still, $9.99 for a 2 litre. Yeah. That really does highlight the value of the 2 litre that we're giving to you right now.
It's so much more established on than you're going to find it on that. So this is what you want to do. Now, come to the life lesson for myself.
We've taught Tim a lesson here, haven't we?
Right. Blueberries. Love blueberries. One of my favourite berries of all time. Blueberries and raspberries are probably my favourite berries of all time.
Really good for you?
Now, I made the mistake of wanting blueberries, and I grabbed blueberries and put them in a pot, and great, away we went. Didn't realise that I put them into the wrong soil. Just put them in regular old... I put them in the professional compost. YouGarden professional compost.
That's great stuff.
Great stuff, right?
Yeah, brilliant
so that's
stuff.
exactly what I did.
Yep.
They shouldn't have gone in that.
No.
They should have gone in the Agapanthus compost.
Yeah, absolutely. They are an acid-loving plant. So ericaceous compost is at the acid end of the pH scale, and that is what your blueberries like. So you're getting a few blueberries, you're getting some, which is great, but you could be getting so much more. And this is why it's important to grab your ericaceous compost. I will be getting loads this year. So I planted exactly this collection this year, and then they really started to get... I've got a few. But they were new. I wasn't expecting to get too many because they need to establish first. I've actually planted into the heavy-duty pots that we've got. So the big heavy-duty pots, they're down the front there. I've put one each of these into those heavy-duty pots, which I think is the perfect one. There they are, look. So you get 4 of them. They're 40 centimetre diameter. They're absolutely perfect. And my blueberries are going to live in there forever. I just adore them. They work beautifully. They've got extra drainage holes in the base of them. So they're never going to get completely waterlogged, and I don't have to take them out and pot them on anywhere. They will live in there perfectly. So you'll get 4 of those pots, 3 of which you're going to use for this collection. Now the collection does actually come with these pots. I'm not planting blueberries in these pots. They're great. It's lovely. It's just an additional extra that you're getting. So use these for something else. Use them for your bulbs or winter, garden readies like the Pansy Coolways. Yeah, put some of these in there.
I think that's my thing. I think mine need a bigger pot now.
They need a bigger pot.
They're in a fairly sizable pot. I'd say mine are probably in
April?
No, mine are probably in something like that. Maybe a little bit bigger than this. Maybe
They'll probably be fine in there for a while, but they do get a decent size.
Yeah, exactly. So
you get a lot of growth on these.
They need more.
Yeah.
They need space. They need the right stuff.
Now, the thing with this collection is what you're getting is 3 different varieties. You've got the New Hanover Blue Ray and Dark Ozark Blue.
Yes.
The reason you're getting 3 different varieties included in here is that you've got an early cropper, a mid cropper, and a late cropper. So what you're doing is extending. You're extending your blueberry cropping season. So rather than getting a big glut of them all in one go, you're going to spread it out over the period of a few months.
Freeze those bad boys.
Well, yeah, this is the other point. You're going to get loads of these as well. Once these come into fruit and once they've established, you're going to get so many blueberries, but fortunately, you can easily freeze blueberries, and then you can whack them in your smoothies or make your blueberry pancakes or your muffins or whatever else.
Pop them on top of your porridge. Frozen blueberries on top of your porridge.
Yep.
Ooh, nothing better. Tiny drizzle of local honey.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic. Or, yeah, in your gin and tonic.
Nice. Love it, honestly.
Delicious.
And you're going to get up to probably... several kilos. We're talking probably up to about 5 kilos worth of fruit per plant.
We definitely haven't got that.
Ericaceous compost, sunny position. They are deciduous, so they're going to drop their leaves. I will point that out. They are going to drop their leaves, but actually blueberries do give a blaze of colour.
That's what mine's doing right now.
Yeah, they give an amazing blaze of colour.
Spectacular.
They're a really attractive shrub.
They are beautiful, but I definitely haven't got that flower. So here we go. This year... Come on, blueberries!
Get repotted in that ericaceous as soon as possible.
All right, 201340304 is your item number, $17.97 for your blueberry collection if you want to go for that. The compost that you need with that is your ericaceous compost, £10.79 for a 60-litre bag, 100042. If you want to go for that, there is the postage already included with that, and you will get your freebie, which is this, the Sarah Barnhart, who was an amazing actress, and that was the reason why they decided to do this particular bare route. Don't get told off.
Okay, yeah, it's an ugly little thing. I can't deny it, but right.
Is that another one?
Yeah, there's another shoot there, so that you can see that there's a shoot there, but this actually here, I can see.
Is that another one?
Yeah, they normally come with multiples on. So look, there's another shoot there, and that one there. That's another one, and another one. You're right. So we've certainly counted 4 shoots on that one bare root there. So it comes with those multiple buds on there. Those are the bits that are going to pop up out the ground. Get those planted as soon as possible, by the way, your bare roots, because you don't want those to dry out. So it's not like a bulb that you can leave sat there. You do need to get them planted as soon as possible. Okay. You'll get those gorgeous flowers. It's freebie though. It's $9.99 and it's free today.
Favourite word, free.
Make sure you add
it in. Yeah, make sure the code goes in. Compost, don't get it for free, but any order you place, you're going to get that for free. So just work out what's best for you in the ways to get the most freebies that you possibly can. Okay, that's your Agapanthus. No, so now we're moving on to our Agapanthus, which is here.
Yeah, the Agapanthus africanus blue. This is not an ericaceous plant, okay? So, but also likewise, this is one of the very few things I'm going to say don't plant in our premium professional compost.
Stu is saying it needs chalk, dust, or rubble.
Honestly, you need to treat them mean, keep them keen, basically, with your Agapanthus. You want to keep them really, really root bound. They love a hug. So normally when you get loads of roots in the bottom there and it's pot bound, you're like, oh, I need to put that on. Don't do that. It wants to feel crowded like that, and that's going to help it to flower. You're going to make me pull it out. Oh, no, I was going to say I won't be able to, but I think Adam pulled it out the other day, which means I can. Hang on.
I'm teasing. Oh yeah,
my
oh wow, yeah.
word.
She is bound.
That is a rooty one. Look at that. Yeah, no, don't pot it on. Leave it in there.
That is perfection. So what was your top tip? Your top tip was...
Top tip is, if you're going to put it into a pot, I would probably just, particularly if you're going into a... And this would be the perfect pot for it. Just bury the pot. Don't take it out of there. Just put compost around it and leave that in there. And then you'll get loads of this foliage and you'll get beautiful flower spikes.
And don't be thinking put the good compost in there. Just put some muck in there. Just whatever you can find, just get it in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're going to get multiple flowers. First year you'll get several. Second year you'll get more. Third year you'll get even more. You can get 15, 20 flowers per plant here. And obviously as it matures and establishes, you can then divide those clumps as well.
So the £8.99 in the club, 560321 for your Africanus blue, your Agapanthus. Go for one of those. And look, if you have a bad gardener that you know that needs something, gift them one of them because they'll feel like a true success.
Yeah.
Because they probably won't do anything wrong with it. So, the Magnolia, we want to give a quick mention to. 510733, the Fairy Blush. This is $16.19 in the club, $17.99 if you're not in the club. A fantastic option for you because this is quite well established that you're going to be getting here.
Yeah.
A 3-litre pot that you've got.
And flowers on a young plant. With Magnolia, traditionally, you have to wait several years for it to mature and establish before it'll give you flowers. You'll just get foliage for ages. But actually, with the Fairy Blush, this will flower on a young plant. So you're not having to wait for ages. Gorgeous sweet scent, light scent, but you do get a scent from it. You can create a hedge like you're seeing here.
Beautiful. That's really
because
nice.
It's lower growing. This isn't going to turn into a great big tree. It is a nice lower growing one. Flowers along the stem, so you're potentially going to get more flowers from it as well, which is brilliant. I try and plant it somewhere sheltered if you can. Just because obviously we know sometimes the flowers don't last forever, and because of when they're flowering, sometimes you get that really windy day and then all the flowers are gone. So I try and plant it somewhere nice and sheltered if you can.
But still very worthwhile.
Totally worth.
Very worth.
Totally.
So we're going to go into our Christmas, our Yuletide, because this is beautiful. I was saying the traditional Christmas flower is those poinsettias. Don't be buying me one of those. Any one of my friends or family who's watching, do not buy me a poinsettia. Buy me one of these. Yeah,
they're gorgeous. Deep, glossy, evergreen leaves. So first of all, you've got something that you can look at all year round because it's going to have that beautiful evergreen leaves to it. But it's called Yuletide because this is going to flower. It's going to start very soon. Look at the buds. You see those buds right there? Can you see those buds on the other side? There's so many of them. Just wait, and you can see the red starting to come through, so you can see how close this is to flowering. Honestly, looking at this plant, there are buds everywhere. I think, once I get started, I could probably count about 25, 30 buds on this particular one right now. So imagine how many flowers you're going to have on this as it gets bigger. And if you let it establish in a border somewhere, we are talking 3 metres in height, couple of metres spread here. I think it'd be beautiful in a pot. I think a couple of these in a pot, either side of your doorway, that would be a gorgeous festive welcome over the festive period. Does want ericaceous compost though.
Although make sure that if you live in a south-facing garden, rear garden, you're going to move this round to the front of the house only when it's Christmas time.
Yeah, I think
and then back again.
I think it's going to need a decent amount of sun. I don't think you want to go too shady. But it is a winter flowering plant,
Fully
so
shady at the front.
it can cope with lower light levels. I wouldn't say north facing, no. I think you need a bit more sun than that.
Stupid house next door to me blocking all the sun.
Yes, stupid house.
Stupid house.
Knock it down, go on.
No,
Right,
I quite like my neighbours, they're all right. Right, so we're going over to one of your favourites, our gardenias. Come on, hang on, get your fix.
Please, let me get my fix of this, the fragrance.
That's opened up more now, it's been in.
Oh, it really has. Oh, my word.
That flower's really opened up across the course this morning. Look at that, that's really opened up, that little one there.
It was really tightly closed earlier, and now look at the beauty of that as well. Oh. Oh, the gardenia fragrance is incredible. I can't overstate how beautiful that smell is. Glossy evergreen leaves, totally winter hardy, nice and compact. These should only ever get to a couple of feet height and a lovely kind of dense, bushy foliage that you're getting here. I often talk about it being a perfect pot plant, and I do think it's great to go into a pot. You know, those April planters, they would look great for it. And the reason I say a pot plant is because I think you can move it, so you can move it where you can get the most out of the fragrance.
100%,
but
100%.
Julia, I think it was, who was asking earlier, will it work in a border? Yes, it absolutely would work in a border. Just think about where you're going to place it in that border because, as I say, they're only going to get to a couple of feet, so don't put it right at the back because they'll get lost.
Yes, OK. So if you wanted to go for those, 1617, 511 452 is your item number. I've got one.
Will it work? I mean, it will. You've got the lovely. You've got the white.
Do you want another one?
You've got the white of the pot. And then you've got, I mean, it could work, and it is a pack of 3, so it's a buy one and get 2 free when it comes to the wicker planter, and of course you're going to get 3 of those gardenia plants as well. So you've got the perfect numbers going on here, and it is £7.19 for all 3 of those. Put one of them in your basket, use the code, and the other 3 will appear in your basket as well. It's YGTV 4124 if you need the item code. And yes, they do like ericaceous compost for your gardenias. So yeah, grab a bag of your ericaceous compost as well. Stu's actually going to make the basket now to show you how easy it is to do.
Oh, nice. I love it when we do this so we can decorate our basket with a load of goodies. Make sure that you put those codes in, okay? YGTV 4124. That's going to give you all of the goodies that you're looking for. That's going to give you the freebies. That's going to give you the offers. Without that, you're not going to get everything. So make sure you put the code in and make sure you join the club as well for £5. All right, we're going to have a look at our basket, Stu. Always just loading it up. Here's the gardenias, add to basket.
3 different varieties in there, by the way.
OK, so he's going to remove the code, £59.94. Now, what have we got in there? We've got 1 compost in there, 1 pot in there, and the gardenia in there. OK, so £59.94. Pop in the code for me then, YGTV 4124. Apply.
Oh.
So that's come down, great. So now it's £44.97, total saving of £52.96. But 2 free pots have appeared, that's great, thank you very much. We've also got, that's come down in price, the Gardenia collection's come down, and we've got the free Peony that has appeared as well. So you've got extras, freebies in there, and you've saved money. That is great. Now, subtotal £37.95. I need £2.05. Right.
What's the low? Oh yeah, Ceanothus, Stu. It's got to be a Ceanothus.
All right, let's add that in.
You have to put Ceanothus into your basket. It's
£9.99
for a 2-litre
Here we
pot.
go. Pop into the basket. View basket, all free postage, £47.94.
That's a nice basket.
Join our club today and save another £4.80.
Yeah, so it's going to cost you £5 to join the club today, but you can start saving today.
But then you're going to get vouchers.
You're going to get you £20 worth of vouchers, and every time you shop with YouGarden in the next 12 months, you're going to be saving 10%. So you've nearly paid for the club membership with 1 order.
Exactly.
So second order that you make, you are now making money, basically. You are saving money every single time you place an order, and it lasts for 12 months.
It's been absolutely fantastic. Now, thank you so much for joining us in the potting shed this morning. Thank you for letting me come back in. Thank you for involving now. If you've not had enough of my ugly mug and this beautiful one, you can join us on TikTok, because we're going to be coming up on TikTok very, very soon. If you haven't downloaded the app, just go to the App Store, download TikTok. It's very, very simple to set up, and then you can follow us and get different deals. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I'll see you, I don't know when.
In about an hour?
About an hour.
See you on TikTok. Come and join us on there. If not, we'll see you on Thursday in the potting shed for more YGTV.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great Sunday.
Bye.